All right, and we're back. This is the Cheech and Manny Show featuring Mr. Joe Silkman. We are at it again in our progressive Bible series. This time, we are not going to look into the greatest progressive rock drummers. So we looked at guitarists, we've looked at keyboard players, we looked at bassists, and I think now we're gonna do drummers. We haven't done singers yet. I'm not sure if that's something that.
Oh, we did. We did.
Never mind. Scratch it. That's how you know it was a long day. We did. And I think we've covered the five. Like, this is
This
like,
is it. This is it on the instrumental piece, and then
yes,
we just
yes,
have albums and stuff.
yes.
Yeah,
And we talked about the greatest songs too already. So it's like,
yeah,
it's pretty
yeah.
much a wrap here. So it's pretty amazing. Let me throw a Cheech. What's going on, brother?
How's everything, man? He has everything, Joe. Things are good. Day at the temple. I send you some Frenchie videos.
Yo, I want to, I would, I'm not gonna do it, but I want to put like Frenchie like in the beginning. Like, it's so
Yeah,
rock and roll.
you know. I just want to thank Mark for giving me these. They're like Pokemon cards, but they're if you could see that they're rock and roll cards. It's Led Zeppelin,
hmm
and on the back it like has like information about them.
Where did you get that? Like at a thrift store?
A flea market, and then I don't know if you can see this.
Oh,
It's the Clash,
oh, dude.
and then like on the back, it has information. Yeah, he said he got them at a flea market in Norwalk,
Wow.
and I looked them
Shout out to
up.
Mark.
They're from the '90s. They're authentic. They're it's pretty cool.
Dude,
You
that's
know.
really cool. The Clash and the other band was Led Zeppelin, which we've
Yeah,
where did
I
we
got
talk
a
about
whole
the Clash?
bag. I got a bag
Oh,
of, and there's other
dude,
Zeppelin ones, and
dude, throw one my way, man. And Mark,
Oh
thank you.
yeah,
Mark, thank
yeah.
you, man. I know Mark, I know a different type of music he's into, but thank you, Mark, if you managed to watch
Yeah.
this. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really nice of him. Mark's the best.
And a little preview with the Clash in our future episode on
Oh
Punk.
yeah, I saw the Clash. The Clash was the first one I picked up. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Right, right.
Yeah. The Clash and the Ramones of all I've been listening to, as you know, Manny.
Dude, it sounds like me, man.
It's like
Um,
it's crazy.
I know. And Joe, what's going on? Mr. Joe Silkman's on the air.
Yeah, everything's good. Well, I guess I can share it with you guys. Uh, my wife has talked me into getting Bruce Springsteen tickets,
Oh,
and it was hard. It was hard to get the tickets because the five venues in the tri-state area sold out in minutes. Are already probably on the resale market for an exorbitant price. But so I jumped to. We've done this before. We saw a show in Washington D.C. at Nationals Park. I normally don't like stadium shows or outdoor large shows with like 40,000 plus people, but we're going to see Bruce Springsteen on May 27th. It is the last show of the tour. He announced 19 concerts, and what I find really interesting, because I've seen Bruce four times, is that this will be the first time I've seen him, and he has Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine with him as part of the band.
Oh my God, that is
yeah.
bizarre.
No, dude, he came on. I don't know. I remember I don't know where I saw this. I think it was some sort of performance that like back in like 2000 or 2001. And get this, yeah, that's amazing because Tom Morello is a huge Springsteen fan. And
Yeah.
they did, and you know what? They did the Ghost of Tom Joad full rock version. And like Tom Morello was starting wailing. And I was like dropped. I was like, dude. Yeah, Joe.
He's super talented because he could go from Rage Against the Machine to Bruce Springsteen. That dude's like that's amazing.
I'll send you that
Well,
video of that performance. But yeah, that's awesome, Joe.
yeah, I think he last toured with Springsteen in 2008. But Tom Morello, as you know, is very much an activist
Very,
and
very
politically
political.
minded. And of course, Springsteen is in the news about that with that song about Minneapolis.
Joe, have
Yeah.
you heard the song, Joe?
Do you know something? I have not heard the song yet.
I'm
I
curious what
know
you.
I
So
can.
Cheech
I
and
can
I
pull it.
listened to it. I
We
know
broke it down on an
we
episode.
did. I don't know if you. Yeah, I don't know. I'll send it on the group chat. Yeah, we like talked about it a little bit.
I don't think it's out yet. I don't think you put that. Did you put that episode out?
I'm pretty sure it's out. Okay, then I gotta double check. See,
No, because dude, we got like at least 12 on the back burner.
what,
We haven't put out.
what was the context of that episode? I kind of forgot.
I don't even know. We were just going.
We
I
just
know maybe Geese.
it,
Maybe it was
oh, it was
Geese.
geese. And honestly, the song is not that bad. But
Yeah.
I'm a more born in the USA, obviously. But man,
Yeah.
he's still at it, which is crazy.
Yeah. I know.
That's awesome,
Yeah.
Joe.
So yeah, and then we're going to see Ed Sheeran at Giant Stadium, MetLife in September. So the concert budget, the discretionary fund for concerts is pretty much blown on two shows. Whereas usually I like to throw in,
Crazy.
three shows from the Capitol Theater, which are
Right.
usually
I
more
need to do
reasonably
that.
priced.
Yep. Yep.
Uh, I was surprised that someone, maybe I know Cheech knows him, but Manny probably doesn't. Bruce Hornsby,
Oh.
uh,
Yeah. He's
Oh.
great.
yeah, he's
Oh. Is he
performing
coming
at
to the cat?
Paramore in
Okay.
Kona.
Oh, dude, the way it is, man. I love
I
that
love
album
his
song.
piano
And
work.
that's
He,
one
and
of
he
the
was in he
greatest
was in the
piano work.
Dead. He was in the Dead for a while.
He was, yeah, and he'll be performing at Paramore in Katona, which is a very intimate setting,
Ooh.
and I'm going to try to get tickets for that. They go on sale March 17th for online. If you're not a member of Paramore, which is like a fine arts uh, place.
Wow.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. I know I'm seeing like I got one show down. I was gonna get Springsteen tickets and Rush. So, and I got to do it ASAP. I think I may shell out like 300, 400 for the Rush. And then
That's not
Springsteen.
bad though.
No, dude,
After
honestly, I'm gonna try to get two tickets, but if not, I don't know. But in Springsteen, I think for me now I'm gonna have to rely on the scalpers and see if they can like throw me a bone and I can manage to get like a nosebleed seat. I'm gonna see what's out there. Yeah, because
yeah.
it's hard. It's hard because you wait in
Well,
line, but I don't know. It's controversial with Ticketmaster and the
I logged
monopoly.
on 10 minutes before Springsteen tickets were to go on sale, and I was the 17,000th. There were 17,000 people ahead of me for a 19,000 seat arena at
It
the
Oh my
Garden.
God.
And you know what's sad? Guys, that you're 17,000 now. Let's say the 10th person might buy like seven tickets and like scalp
Well,
or
I think they cap it at four.
okay, good. Because I know before it was like that I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just really unfair. And then they triple it on the market and it is what it is. But yeah, but I'm glad you got it. So I'll keep you updated.
Well, it's
Um,
a game of chicken. If you keep checking the resale market
yep.
every so often, especially when you get to within 4 days of the show,
Hmm.
you might see that someone
That's the
couldn't
goal.
go and they
That's what
put
I'm
it
doing.
back up for resale, and they would be happy to get face value if they could. Some people are like that. They say, I don't want to take a loss, and they don't want to, wait until the day of the concert. But you can keep checking, and it's unfortunate, but single seats are out there, and they're
Mhm.
usually affordable.
Yep.
So if you were to get two and someone went with you, you probably wouldn't be able to sit together. But the seats would be more reasonable in price.
Right. I think
It's a game of chicken.
that's my but it's risky, but that's what I do. I wait like 3 days and then I see something, boom, buy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so I guess for tonight's discussion, the gods of prog rock are calling. We're gonna be looking into the progressive rock drummers. There are quite a handful. They are probably some of the greatest drummers of all time just because of the technical skill that's required to
Oh,
play
yeah.
progressive rock. But there's an interesting thing that Joe raised. Keith Moon and John Bonham. So these drummers are nestled in, I would say, sort of like in the blues, psychedelic, sort of like, hard rock styles. The thing is, though, I feel, and Joe, you made a good point, like Keith Moon's work on Quadrophenia, which Quadrophenia is proggy. It's a concept album. It is immersive. It is double. It's a double album. Musically, it's rich. Keith Moon's drum, I agree with you. It's beautiful. I would argue on Who's Next is as well. Another fantastic album that was supposed to be a concept album of another rock opera, Lifehouse, that completely disintegrated. But out of the ashes came Who's Next. So what do we think about this? Like drummers like Keith Moon and John Bonham. Are they progressive rock drummers? Should we give them?
No, I mean it was part of their arsenal, but it was not their priority. The drummers that I selected to talk about, I mean, their career was progressive rock for the most part, whereas Keith Moon dabbled in it. John Bonham was very diverse. The music of Zeppelin was very diverse, but yeah, for Bonham, Achilles' Last Stand alone is like a very proggy, hard hitting, great drum performance. And yeah, Keith Moon, what can you say about him? I mean, he was all over the place. Did you ever hear the story about Keith Moon when he went to a drummer's clinic and he got to meet all the great jazz drummers and they all like take turns at the kit and they were watching Keith Moon and some of the jazz guys afterwards said, "We have absolutely no idea what you're doing, but keep doing it."
Dude,
Wow.
that is so progressive, man.
But he was
Imagine,
already
dude,
he was
dude,
already
you're the
teaching.
musician. Imagine a jazz person saying that to you. Yo, nods up.
But he was famous, or he was Keith Moon already. He wasn't like not famous when he went to the clinic, right?
I think it probably was in the early 70s.
Yeah, so he was
Yeah.
God. He was, known to in the rock world as, one of the greatest, drummers in the greatest band. I've heard stories about Keith Moon where he had perfect time in the studio over all the crazy fills that he was doing that they couldn't believe his time was always perfect. And like the other members would be off time, but Keith Moon would be perfectly in time.
Mm,
Yeah, well, until the last album, unfortunately. I
yeah.
heard a lot about the last album, which came out when I was in
Yeah.
college.
Yeah.
Uh, Who Are You? That he really struggled with time.
Yep. Yep. I think he developed remind me drinking problem, right? Or was it heroin?
Drinking.
It was drinking, yes,
Yeah.
and a drug. I forgot which drug it was. But yeah, I know he struggled on that. There's a great video of them recording "Who Are You?" and it's so great because you see Keith Moon,
Yeah.
wailing and doing his Keith Moon, but you could definitely see in his face that something's off. Like I could see that like that album he struggled, and obviously, sadly, it's gonna lead not too long to his death. And it's crazy because Keith Moon, along with John Entwistle, those two were like the sound that, like Pete Townshend is a genius. Roger Daltrey is a genius, but
Yeah.
those two, without them,
All,
it's
all
not.
I gotta say is
It's
live
not.
it leads. Live it
Oh,
leads.
dude, it's not the Who. Like Keith Moon's drumming, I'd be like, it's the heartbeat. Without him, like they tried, but it just wasn't the same.
He was just so all over the place and busy, but he kept it grounded at the same time.
That's a
He's
skill.
he's genius. Genius. I think he's
Listen to
one of the
Quadrophenia
greatest.
again. Listen to Quadrophenia. It'll blow your mind.
Oh, Joe, I was
It,
listening to a few months ago, and it's now like I always forget how amazing Quad is. Now it's like greatest of all time. I now have a hard time. Like I'll be honest, I think it's better than Tommy. I know that's probably a hot take. My album that's always dear to my heart is Who's Next, but Quadrophenia. These are always in my rotation.
Oh, what is it? Won't get fooled again. Oh my God, those drum fills
That's,
are
I always
so.
quote that. I always quote that song. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Yeah.
the one thing about the Who is I find interesting was the dynamic of the Who, where it seemed like all I would read about was that Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey used to fight all the time. Roger Daltrey was a very scrappy guy. I mean, I'm sure he broke Pete Townsend's nose on more than one occasion. But I wonder how he dealt with in the studio John Entwistle and Keith Moon. See, Pete was the songwriter. He had the vision. It was like, how did he get across to the rhythm section what he wanted? It seemed like they never had major disagreements.
Well, Keith, I read Entwistle's book. Keith Moon and Entwistle were best friends. They spent all their time together,
Mm.
you know,
So they had a
and
good relationship. Like even if
they
they,
loved each other, and they also he was such a joker. He would break his balls all the time, and it would drive Entwistle nuts. He would get very angry with him because Moon was just that he was Moon the Loon, literally.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I think Keith Moon was lovable. I think like it would have been hard to hate it. Like any of those
No.
three, I don't think they never, and they probably just allowed him to loon the moon, the music. Like they're
Yes.
like whatever. And then John Entwistle, just based on his songwriting contributions and sort of his style, I feel like he's like Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones. He's just like a
Yes.
cool dude. Like probably didn't get, and I could and Joe, so I mean, I mean, you guys know this. Pete Townshend has been a jerk. Uh, he's always been like kind of mean, and Daltrey has an ego, and he's
It's
scrappy. So,
almost like a Johnny Rotten, Pete Townsend a little bit,
dude,
you know?
kind of, yeah. Even remember
Yeah,
that weird outfit that he wears on the performances at I don't know what he was like. It's strange. But yeah, very punk. And so and indulgent and Joe's right, Daltrey is like scrappy. Like you say anything to him, he's gonna like knock you out. So they had that tension. But again, it worked.
it brought some of the greatest music ever out, you know?
And obviously Townshend is the Waters of the band. So it's funny, the geniuses are always like the jerks.
Yeah,
And they end up sort of, you know. But I mean, obviously they're still touring with Townshend and Daltrey, so you know
yeah.
they're not pulling a yes where they don't
Right,
invite
right.
John
Yeah, I
Anderson
can
and
respect that. I can
yeah.
respect that. Yeah,
So, you know, they obviously and I think that I have a feeling that just based on the documentaries, Daltrey and Townshend love Moon, and I feel like that unites them and Whistle too. Like
yeah.
they're, comrade.
I mean, it was never the same,
Yeah,
you know. I mean, they had some great songs afterwards, but it's never the
not the
same
same.
when an original member like that on that level is gone. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But they had a successful run, after that.
Yeah.
You know.
It's pretty interesting to know that the touring keyboard player with The Who is going to tour with Rush.
Yeah, so actually I didn't know that. Cheech, it's that guy. What's his name?
Oh, the guy who was in Jessica Simpson's band
He
leader or
does the whole
whatever.
thing about this. I mean,
Um,
but you're mad because, he's taking the keys away from Getty. Like,
yeah. But Getty's playing on Subdivisions, Joe told me.
oh
So
yeah,
that's cool.
he has to. I mean,
Yeah. But the thing is, the guys in Rush have been rehearsing with, I think her name is pronounced properly as Annika Nilles. They have been, rehearsing with her quite often, whereas the keyboard player that's going to tour with them has not rehearsed with Rush yet. And the first concert's in June.
Yeah, well, keys are easy to slip in. Drums are a lot harder. You know what I mean? So, like,
and especially Neil's parts, depending on,
yeah, the greatest drummer in the world. You know, I wish her luck.
from Pantera, Cheech, Vinny Appice. What's his name? The drummer from Pantera?
Vinnie Paul.
Sorry, Vinnie Paul, the late great Vinnie Paul, and the Rush documentary said that Neil's drummings and drum parts will test you as a drummer. Even he struggles like with some of those like
Oh
parts,
yeah,
and he's a great drummer in his own right. But just imagine him saying that.
yeah.
I could see that. Like
Well, the thing, I don't want to get a thing about her, but the thing is,
watching.
she wasn't a. This is what, and Getty and Alex, they have a plan, and I don't doubt them
Yeah.
because they're Rush. But what I find odd is she wasn't a Rush fan, and she never learned any of his drum parts. So I guess it's kind of cool in a way, bringing a person who's new, it's fresh, she's learning the parts, you know. So I wish the best for them.
I could make my controversial statement now at the beginning, but it's a short one. But I
Okay.
believe if I'm predicting history, I'm going to predict the future. Annika Nilles will be considered one of the greatest prog drummers ever at the end of that tour, that world tour with Rush. I think she's going to nail it. I think she's going to knock it out of the park. I think we're all going to be very impressed, and I think that the guys in Rush are going to be very happy with the
I hope
result.
so. I hope so.
I,
So I'm pro Annika.
I mean,
it's exciting because Joe G and I have been talking about how it's interesting. She comes from Cheech, correct me if I'm wrong, jazz fusion is
yeah,
that, so, and that's a classic. Now, I mean, so that the jazz fusion part of it was found in the Canterbury scene, in the progressive rock origins
yeah.
and prehistory. And so I'd be curious to see. Yeah, I mean Joe might have a point. It might be that she might cause some sort of historic moment in terms of like progressive rock drummers.
I saw her when she toured with Jeff Beck, and she was very, very capable. And Jeff Beck doesn't hire people that don't have chops.
Yeah,
He tours with people that are top of their game.
definitely. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I wish Rush the best.
Jeez, I know you want to say something. No, I'm kidding. You're like
You
that.
know why I can say it? I can say this because I remember the Black Sabbath situation where the band was going to get together, and
That
Sharon
guy
Osbourne
was
decided
good.
that Bill Ward was not going to tour with them. That upset me because I believe in the core four that they
Right.
started with for the original Black Sabbath
Yeah.
album. But I saw videos of the guy that they had brought in, and he
Amazing.
was a beast.
He was a
And
he looked like young Bill Ward too, which made it even cool. Like he
he
cool.
he
He was
was
good.
heavy. But Bill Ward always considered himself, just like Ginger Baker, a jazz drummer. So
But
my background is
here's
jazz.
the difference with Bill Ward and Neil Peart. Bill Ward isn't the greatest drummer on the planet. So stepping into those shoes is pretty easy. When you step into the greatest drummer who ever lived, in my opinion, in rock, I wish her the best, man. I wish her the best of luck. And I'm sure she'll do fine. I mean, she'll do good. And I'm happy for Getty and Alex. They just seem so happy. And that's, in their golden years of life. So
I mean, speaking of progressive rock drummers, I guess let's go back. Well, let's return to the topic. Tonight's topic, progressive rock drummers. And then, Cheech, I'll throw it to you. How do you want to
yeah.
start this off? How's Mr. Black,
Uh,
how does Mr. Black want us to start it off?
he wrote this episode. So we'll start off with Carl Palmer. Um, talk about his style. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Carl Palmer. Speed, showmanship, blending jazz, classical. He played timpani, had a military style. Created a powerful sound that he had. Jazz influence, Buddy Rich, Philly Joe Jones, Joe Morello. Classically trained, studied timpani at the Guildhall School of Music. He has an elaborate drum solo with ELP. When I saw him with Asia, he does this like he's like Pert. He does this amazing drum solo in the middle of the concert, where his complexity, and he blends all different influences from pop rock to prog and all that stuff. But I think what really made me impressed with him is how he played pop rock with Asia.
Mm,
Now, when you listen to Heat of the Moment and you listen to those snare hits at the end,
mhm,
that's not really meant to be there. It's a pop song,
mhm.
but he's doing like jazz kind of hits. It's that's the most genius thing I think ever. Those snare hits at the end of Heat of the Moment. It's unbelievable. You know. Uh, some of his works, Tarkus trilogy, Pictures at an Expedition, and Asia's first album. And then the songs. I don't have to go through for that.
No.
But anything else I missed on Carl Palmer?
I thought he was a beast on Jerusalem on Brain Salad Surgery. I thought his drumming was really great. It
Oh
was
yeah.
a lot of speed there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
I saw him live. I was blessed to see him live with Asia, and I'll never forget his drum solo. It was second to Neil. Uh, I put him number two to Neil as far as a drum solo, and I got to see Alan White and Bruford. I'm wow. I saw Bruford, Alan White, Neil, and Carl Palmer. So it's I got to see the greats, and I put him number two to Neil as like one of the greatest drummers. But
And you
Manny,
just
anything?
mentioned with Carl Palmer, it's funny because I will say he and you're right when Asia, especially in heat of the moment, towards the end, and I remember hearing this song, and I did not understand those drum parts because I was like a amateur music enthusiast, so I'm hearing this, and first of all, I'm hearing like an '80s song, like "Don't Stop Believing," Journey's "Don't Stop Believing,"
Yeah.
or Van Halen's "Jump," which were some of my early rock songs. So I'm hearing this Asia song. And it's pretty, and the vocals are very, anthemic. and then I hear the drummer. I'm like, what the heck am I?
And it's all done on the snare drum, which is total jazz. It's a jazz rudiments.
Dude, it's strange. And at first I said to
It,
myself, this
it's
doesn't
like
belong here.
it's a Louis Bellson. It's like right out of a jazz
Right.
thing. It's insane.
It's insane, genius. And also his rock style, I don't know if you guys would agree with this. It's like he brought in the classical aspect to it,
Yeah.
speed, and really was influential. I mean, it's pretty obvious on Neil. It's gonna be on your you're gonna mention him, Neil Peart. Um, and he sets himself apart from the rest. And I think the only one that equals him, kind of, you guys would agree with this.
Annika Niles.
Oh, of course, of course. Who's the drummer? No, who's the drummer from Blink 182? Travis Barker.
He's not bad. He's not bad.
No, I'm
He's a
kidding.
good
I'm kidding.
drummer.
Okay, he's good. He's good. No, but he is a beast. It was work on ELP is some of it's prog because he's
Yes.
mixing classical. So think Mozart on drums. That's the way
Yeah.
to describe him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. He's incredible. Um, so let me see. Move on to the great Bill Bruford. Jazz influenced, complex, precise approach. Um, he added rhythmic complexity to the band's prog sound, creative use of polyrhythms, intricate patterns like 5/4, which means in so
Wait,
he's
wait.
playing like
Sorry, Cheech, who is this?
Bill Bruford.
Oh, okay. So this is gonna be my topic. I was gonna say he probably rivals Palmer. I know this is my
It's tough.
opinion.
It is it's a tough between the two. They're very different though,
Very, very,
completely different
very.
drumming.
And would you guys agree with this? Just with the Palmer thing is, I feel me personally, like Palmer, he's so good, but he's sometimes a little too busy. While Bruford kind of slows down a little bit
Yes.
and and works with the song, right? So, and I think I showed you guys this his amazing drumming on a very album very much like King Crimson's repertoire, Discipline. So I sent
Yeah.
you a video of Elephant Talk, and here he's grooving, but he's playing these time signatures,
Yeah.
and that's nothing new with Bruford. And then going back to his work on Red, our favorite album, where
Oh,
his drumming reaches new levels of height and rhythmic complexity. Like Palmer is the mad genius scientist. Bruford
yeah.
more like the more he's slow. I guess he would be maybe like the Bach of drums, where
It's a good point. Like he played to the song, which is insane to Yes, but he's playing to the song for Yes, one of the most progressive bands.
imagine.
So by playing polyrhythms, it's natural. If you played polyrhythms in AC/DC, it'd be so unnatural. You know what I mean? So
There
um,
you just need to keep 4/4.
you played polyrhythms in the Ramones, it'd be so unnatural.
Right, right. Have you
But
seen those jokes? Just one more thing. There have been funny memes of when a rock band hires a drummer from Berkeley and they're playing like these polyrhythms and they're just like, what are you doing, dude?
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's Roofer. Roofer's such a genius. In
I,
my
I've
opinion,
I've played with drummers like that, and I love it. I love it when because it's like as a bass player you get the bounce off of them. When I played with drummers that play too straight, it makes me have to play less because I feel too busy. So I like busy drummers because when busy drummers and a busy bass player they lock well together. You know,
hmm.
so. Let me just so me what was I? Polyrhythm. So he's playing 5/4 in one rhythm and the hi-hat, and then 4/4 with the tom. So he's technical precision and jazz influence, less about power, more about finesse, nuances, and feel. Um, so complex rhythm like Heart of the Sunrise, Close to the Edge, unique beat placement and the use of odd time signature, like I said. and he also has a very unique snare sound.
Dude,
No
I
one
want
has a,
Can I comment on that snare sound? Dude, you
yeah,
hear it on Close to the Edge. It
exactly,
is
exactly.
so, for me, it's like, and you guys know this as you listen to the music. When you hear this, man, it's like I wish I can. It's hard to describe the feeling when you hear his drumming on Close to the Edge.
Yeah.
It's so unique, so amazing. Yeah, that unique. It's very similar to how Squire's based on his.
Yeah.
Rupert has this very unique, especially how he plays the snare, which is
Mhm.
fascinating and
Yeah.
such a genius sound that you hear on that album, and on
Yeah.
Fragile too as well.
I mean, forget yes. Red.
Honestly,
I
dude,
mean,
dude,
forget yes for a moment. Like one red nightmare.
dude,
Those
dude,
fills are some of the
listen, dude,
greatest fills ever.
dude,
Sorry, Neil.
dude, I,
Sorry.
dude, I,
Yeah.
dude, I die on a hill for that song, but no, forget that. On Red, where like you hear that snare and the drumming, and imagine trying to keep up with Fripp, who himself is a mad scientist,
Yeah.
and I always the legendary John Wetton's
Oh,
bass,
yeah.
which is so on that album, the sound he gets. So imagine like, you're Bruford and you manage to technically outshine them both on Red.
Yeah. I,
That
oh, Mr. Black.
speaking of Mr. Black,
See him?
he's like, hey, make sure you mention that. make
All
sure
right. I will. Little brat.
make sure you mention in the court of the Crimson King.
All right. Mr. Black wrote this episode. That he just told me. So okay. I got
But
it.
Bruford for me, I think like total giveaway. He's top. I just he has so much soul in his drumming.
And
It's
think
so
about John Wetton. He played with Bruford and Carl Palmer. How lucky! Like, what's a bass player's dream?
I wish we can
No,
like rest in peace, John Wetton, the legendary John Wetton. We can get on the show and like talk like, how, did he like with Palmer or Ruford? I feel, and
no,
it's funny because Palmer, I don't, is Palmer an intense guy or no? Just
no, he's mellow. It's
okay, never
mellow.
mind. Just
Very,
based on his
very.
drumming, I feel like he's intense.
Those guys are very English. Proper. They're not like
They're not intense like Ginger Baker, for example. And not Prague, but I heard Ginger Baker was intense to work with.
No,
Am I wrong or right?
Yeah.
you are right.
Yeah, like he was very kind of like no, like but so I figure with Palmer, just hearing and looking at him on stage, like,
No.
okay, okay, that's
I
amazing.
never I never heard of ELP having problems fighting or anything. They broke up because they just like what do we call it? Prog Rock killed itself.
They fizzled.
Yeah.
They pretty much reached the stars, but then the star imploded on itself. It's too much.
Yeah.
Where can you go
And
after?
then when when they wanted him back in the 80s to do a reunion, he was already with Asia, and he's like, I'm not going to rejoin you guys. I'm the biggest band in the world. Asia was huge from 81, 82 to 86,
Yeah.
something like that. They had a good run. But yeah, so I mean, okay, I just name, like Close to the Edge, Fragile, um, Crimson Lark's Tongues in Aspect, Starless Bible Black. We talked about Red, and then you can't forget UK.
Yeah, and remind the listeners out there, UK supergroup, who's in it?
Eddie Jabson on keys, Mr. Bill Bruford on drums, a guy named Alan Holsworth on guitar, and some guy named John Wetton on bass and singing.
Guy, the front man of a little band called Asia.
And you know, John Wetton was in another supergroup, UK. People forget that, like,
And that album is amazing. Bruford also changes his sound. Like that's what's so brilliant about Bruford. Like
yeah.
he just a phenomenal drummer, and just I feel like he's always the soul of any project he does. Like
He's the pulse. He's doing polyrhythms and all that stuff, but he keeps it in time. It doesn't sound out of place.
mhm.
He might be the most solid progressive rock drummer of them all. And busy. It's not like he's like, Phil Rudd from AC/DC. The guy, he's busy as fuck what he's doing, but
Mhm.
he just keeps it together. He might be probably one of the greatest out of all of them, you know.
Mhm.
So, Joe, anything on Bruford?
I don't have anything on Bruford, but I just wanted to say that thankfully the Cheech and Manny music podcast is keeping Prague alive. And I think there are probably kids all across America getting in the garage, and there's going to be a comeback. You are saving Prog Rock.
I hope so. God,
Yo,
I hope so,
that's the
man.
goal. That's the goal.
Certainly done enough episodes on progressive rock.
I think yeah, I think we covered a lot of aspects of prog rock, which and more. It's funny because it's a tiny on YouTube. It's like a tiny in the grand scheme of things. Like I know our boy at Classic Album Review. I always forget his name. The old British guy. He's
Yeah, this guy,
fantastic.
yeah, he's
Loves
amazing.
prog rock and
Yeah,
so yeah, Joe. Those are high praises and compliments because that's
thank
the
you.
goal.
Wouldn't it be crazy? Wouldn't it be crazy if there's some young girl out there that watched the Kate Bush episode and
Dude.
she's kind of like a poet and she's interested in dance and she gets turned on by Kate Bush and Kate Bush was very smart. What I read was in England she passed um, all 10 of her O levels, which apparently means that not only could she go to college, she could study whatever she wanted in any discipline of education, and she chose the music career instead. But
Wow.
she seemed surprised that an interviewer knew that she had like aced her English exams, and yeah. But somewhere there might be a young girl that is going to be the next Kate Bush.
Well, there's 8 billion people in the world, and 6 billion of them are on the internet. So you never know. You know, it's like that would be cool. I mean,
At least one. I agree with Joe. One kid in their garage listens to Red and just gets that moment. Like,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
definitely.
It's amazing to think that somewhere out there, yeah, there's in the back of a classroom, you think of Les Claypool sitting next to Kirk Hammett,
Mhm.
and then and
Mhm.
they're just a couple of kids with no money, and bored by school, or having David Gilmour and Sid Barrett playing guitar, during their lunch hour out
I
under
Yeah,
a tree somewhere out in front of their school.
I
I
get this
know.
feeling when I
Yeah,
look at my students and I feel like, man, there's a Bill Bruford in here. There might be a Fripp, Roger Waters, like
yeah.
especially because
You know, there might be a Bad Bunny too, so you never know.
or the next Swedish House Mafia with like our boy
Oh,
Alan.
oh,
I mean, you never
yeah,
know, honestly. Like it's amazing to think
yeah.
about that. Just one kid might be the next, you know, um, they're
But
gonna.
it's hard because like the genres are dead. That's what sucks.
I'll be honest with you, but I've been getting more positive about this because, um, like rock. Just thinking about the time when rock first came out, right? It was sort of a strange genre, and it was kind
Yeah,
of hated by a lot of people. Like people thought it was just a fad.
yeah, yeah.
So today's music, I mean, you could argue with like other genres, but I feel like there is going to be like a phoenix rising with rock. And
I hope so.
and I think you're going to see the rise of kids taking the three chords, starting their own bands,
Yeah.
picking up their instruments and rescuing music from the AI too, which is sort of controlling
Oh,
everything.
this is disgusting. It's AI shit now, where they're like and I'm gonna go on a rant on that. Now you brought it up,
No,
like
Cheech rant,
people
Cheech rant.
that you can form a band on AI and put it on, what do you call it? Spotify, and people could buy it, and it's a fake band. It's just your voice, and
Mhm.
it names,
You know what's funny? Most kids, just piggying back of what you said, on Spotify, AI creates now with AI algorithms, they create for the kids. If you're too lazy, for two things. First, they create playlists, curated playlists based on your
Yeah.
tastes, and it's the AI algorithms are quickly assemble all these tracks, right? And they'll keep giving you the same type of tracks. So you'll technically never discover new things if you just hit that playlist. The other thing too is that now there are AI beats and AI that kids will just turn on. And
Yeah.
because kids don't really listen to music anymore, like really
But
listen.
You know what's sad? AI is playing the music for you on on your algorithm. Okay, what if you were listening to Rush for like 2 months straight, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna give Rush a break today. I'm gonna listen to the Ramones' first album. What about choice?
No, no. Oh, so
AI is just sending, they're taking away your choices now.
if you don't actually curate, so you know how a museum curates their collection.
Yeah.
I think I do this where I curate my Apple Music. I
Yeah,
go on
yeah,
my feed to give me, and obviously me being a music nerd, I'll go search more
yeah,
and
yeah.
on Wikipedia and search the album. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna listen to this. Unless you don't do that, and again, kids don't. I'll be honest with you, when you kids nowadays, I guess Gen Zs and I think millennials are the last um, people that actually curate music. It's
God.
and we talked about that physical media is not a thing anymore. Now, back in the day, you curated your physical media. You had
Well,
your huge collection, so that's kind of
here's the
gone.
thing. I had in my car a CD player and a black thing with all my CDs in it. And I'd be like, what do I want to hear today? I'll put in Hemispheres. On the ride back from work, I'll listen to Peace of Mind by Maiden. And then tomorrow I'll put on, the Magic Flute, and it was all what my body was telling my head told me, not what a fucking computer's saying.
That Matrix computer, man.
And I really think that should be illegal, where AI is making bands and making money from it. Because people
That
fooling people. That should be
that's
illegal.
that's a topic. I know Rick Beato has touched upon that kind of controversy. And Rick
Yeah.
Beato has been very outspoken on that topic.
Yeah.
Most people are kind of cool with that nowadays, though, the music industry. They see it as the future of where things are heading. And honestly, the pop stars will have their music made by AI, beats
It's
and
so sad.
yeah.
It's disgusting. That's actually disgusting in the world I come from. You know what I mean? Being a musician, raw in the basement making music. You know, I don't know. Anyway, Joe, I'm gonna throw the ball to you. The next drummer in Yes.
Alan White.
Yes. No pun
Yes, he's
intended.
on my list for sure.
Wait,
Yeah.
remind me, Alan White, and I love this album. I should like I'm gonna quote Cheech, I should be shot, but on Tales of Topographic Oceans, is that him?
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
Well, after Chris Squire, the most years logged as a Yes member was Alan White. It was over 40 years.
Easily.
God,
Yeah. They
So,
never.
he kind of outworks Bruford, right? Because Bruford
Oh yeah. Well, the
and
only
yeah,
time
and
they
yes,
came
and the
back.
yes resume and the yes trajectory.
Yeah, because Alan White's on 90125. I said it right. um, and the one after 90 Big Generator, he's on all that stuff. And Drama, Relayer, all Tormato, all that stuff. Um, and I was lucky enough, and I always say this, to see Union with every member of Yes and see Alan White and Bruford play together. Like an
Mm.
Allman Brothers kind of thing, two drummers, you
That's
know.
funny. I just saw just because you mentioned Union, there was a funny joke that Wakeman calls that album Onion.
He does.
Because
He
he
hates it.
hates it.
No, I don't think he hates the music. He hates the production because it's right in that. We talked about this
On
with Rush.
with Roll the
Uh,
Bones and
yeah,
Presto.
exactly.
Okay, we were trying to pin that. Now that production, no, don't get me wrong. Roll the Bones is an amazing album,
Oh, it is.
but
It is
I brought this up. There's something off about the production. I couldn't put my
because it's
finger
going
on it.
from the end of the 1980s, where it was all polished and perfect, to the early 90s, where it still had that, but yet it had something else to it. But it was almost more glossy. You hear some of that early, like really cheesy music from the early 90s, like Mariah Carey or Michael Bolton, how glossy is a good word.
Right, right.
Kenny G,
I,
glossy,
yeah,
and Rush got some of that production, and any band that was used that was overly produced got that production in the 90s. Uh, and then it kind of changed in the mid 90s, probably because of grunge,
mhm,
because grunge went back to the garage band sound, to capture it live, like Pearl Jam.
mhm.
Um, even if when you listen to 10, that sounds like a live rock band. It
It
doesn't
sound
sound
it has a Zeppelin sound.
yeah, it doesn't have an overproduction. Um, then it kind of just music goes through different changes with production and stuff for the years. So,
It's
um,
funny, Cheech, you make me think of a band called The Cult because
great band.
they
Mm.
almost seem like a band that didn't know what they wanted to be because they put out an album called
Right.
Love,
Yeah.
and it sounded like they were influenced by U2. But
Yeah,
then their next album was Electric,
Right.
and which was hard driving rock and roll. And it was like,
love that
well,
album.
no more U2 influence at all. They're going and they're rocking hard.
And they had what a great for Ian Astbury. That guy was
Uh, I,
kicked ass.
And it's funny, Joe, going back to that. When I love both albums and the music. And you're right, there's that U2 versus like I guess 70s hard rock Zeppelin sound.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm like, what is the identity of this band? I'm kind of confused. Are they kind of gave up a goth rock at first, but then I see them more. They sound like Aerosmith, like a mix of
And,
Aerosmith,
and I
Well,
gotta say, the Cult came out what in the late '80s?
late 80s. I think Electric came out like 87.
Probably one of the last real
yeah,
frontmen. Ian Astbury was a front man. Like he
huge.
came out, and he was in the Doors too. How fucking cool is that?
Well, the happy ending to it was they had it all figured out by the time they did Sonic Temple, which I think people regard as their best album.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it just didn't work out for them because I think they came out of that weird period, like 87, 88, 89, and then music was changing so drastically that
Yeah.
they couldn't keep up, with like grunge and all, other kinds of alternative that was out. They are considered alternative rock though, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Not like hard rock. But to me, that's always been a thing with me and other people. We talk about the Cult. They're hard rock. I never
I
understood the
I
alternative.
I thought after Electric they were hard rock. If,
Yeah,
but if you just listen to I think the album's called Love, I think. Love.
yeah.
Um, you'd think, what is this? Like a U2 uh, slash uh Cure sound? Like it's kind of
Yeah.
strange. But
And the
it's so amazing.
drummer, I can't think of his last name.
He's
Matt.
great.
Some. He was in Guns N' Roses on all the big hits in the '90s. He
Oh, there
joined
you
Guns
go.
N' Roses.
Well, their bass player is Charlie Jones, who toured with Page and Plant. He's Robert Plant's son-in-law, and he's now the touring bass player with the Cult.
I didn't know he
Right
was
now,
in the Cult. Was he the original member?
Charlie Jones, no,
Oh, okay, okay.
no.
Wow.
But I sometimes I forget when we talk about guitarists. I forget to give Billy Duffy some love.
Oh, he's
That he's
great.
a very
He's fucking
accomplished
cool.
guitarist.
Hmm.
That Les Paul sound.
Hmm. Hmm.
Great classic. I'd put him up there with like a Slash.
Hmm.
Like a modern rocker.
So I
Um,
apologize for getting us off the prog drummer.
no, 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 no,
Oh
no.
no, that's what we do best on the Cheech and
So
Manny Show.
before I break down Alan White, Joe, you want any comments on him?
Well, Alan White, as you know, his resume is really astounding. It's very impressive. Very friendly with John Lennon. Uh, Worked on John Lennon's Imagine album. Played the drums on that. Toured with him when he did that show in Toronto, live in Toronto. That was Alan White on drums. And Alan White, the Beatles connection. He ended up performing a lot of the drums on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass.
Yeah.
So,
That is nuts because I love those albums and just the fact that this progressive rock drummer is on that. It's just these stories, man. Like what a time.
And he could go from playing,
And he played on Tales of Topographic Oceans, right? Which I
yeah,
now obviously Bruford always in my heart, but that album and the sounds so underrated. No
yeah.
one really talks about like the drumming, the keyboards. I know Wakeman hated it. I don't know if he's a hater sometimes, but I'll be honest with you, like, nah, dude, it's phenomenal.
I mean, and Alan White had a great run. What Tales of Topographic Oceans, Relayer,
Relayer, his work on
go,
Relayer.
going was it Going for the One, Tormato, Drama, 90125. They really amazing drummer. I mean, the
do you
technical
think,
skill. Yeah,
Cheech, as a musician and a bass player, do you think that Chris Squire and Alan White, I mean, obviously they had a fantastic working relationship, but do you
yeah,
think that like a Squire would ever get tired of a drummer? They must have played together for 35 years.
yeah. When you lock
Like,
with a
it's like an
drummer,
old shoe, but or it's like a marriage.
Yeah, when you're locked with a drummer, you're locked. You know, you don't. It just works.
I was
If
gonna
it,
say like when you lock with your drummers, like you,
yeah,
isn't that really like
it
you
just
Does
lock
the
to
stays.
play?
creativity suffer? Are you less creative because it's like you have a certain established sound and you're locked in, and it's like, how do you push it farther? How do you take it to the next level?
You bounce off each other with creativity. You know, look what Yes did. Look what they created with Alan White. Look what they created with Bruford, and then look what they created with Alan White. They created more. You know,
Um, if I can
so if
throw,
anything, he pushed the creativity
if I
for
can throw,
Yes.
being devil's advocate, Bruford left Yes because he felt that's it. There's nothing more I can like. Imagine you're leaving the biggest band. Why? Because he claimed, and it's interesting. Also, I would wonder what his relationship was with Squire. He said, "There's nothing else I can do for this band. Like I've reached peak after,"
Yeah.
and so he left to pursue other musical
But
endeavors.
also Fripp was bugging him for years to
Oh,
join Crimson. You know,
there we go.
and when he left, Yes, Fripp said something like, "Now you are ready." You know, so, yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
I feel like Fripp. I don't know if you guys know anything about Fripp, but I feel like he's an intense guy.
Yeah,
That video that was sent to me, Manny, did you send that from Fridays?
That was
The
me.
the
yeah.
That was
clip
me. That was
of
me. I'm obsessed with that performance.
King Crimson. That was actually a great video, and they say they performed that live better than the album,
No,
and they even
100%.
said that Robert Fripp smiled during the performance.
And you see
They
it.
say he never smiles. It's like, did his face break? People were making comments, just astounded by the musicianship, and that the band seemed to be really enjoying themselves.
And that's what was so cool about that show, because I remember that show as a kid. They always had phenomenal like musician bands on there, and they had musical acts. Like Wishbone Ash was on there. Um, you know, they wouldn't have like your regular popular like Saturday Night Live would have whatever was popular. They would have obscure bands on that show. That's what I've always loved about that show.
Yeah. Wait a minute. The other guitarist was Adrian Ballou. Was the
Yeah.
Adrian
correct?
Blue,
He was
like
the
that.
singer.
He's
He's a
in.
very good frontman. He's a
Oh,
likable guy.
I had no idea, and it's funny because I've been listening. I knew about Discipline, but I never really um. So that took me on this rabbit hole, with seeing this part of King Crimson. But that performance is You're right. Two things. First, Baloo Adrian is insane guitarist. What he makes this, I don't know if you noticed with his guitar, he makes this elephant sound, which I thought it was a sample or something. No, he actually makes it. And he's actually famous for he makes these animal sounds on his guitar, which is so funny. And he's even playing around like he hits like the Cheech, what's it the top part of the guitar where you tune the strings, like those strings that
Oh, where it's where the strings connect into the tuners.
yeah, he
Yeah.
plays that and creates a sound, and it's crazy because and then Fripp, he you could see he's having fun and he smiles, but it's funny because he never smiles. He's always serious. And the
Yeah.
only other time he does that, I sent you guys a video much later. He goes on the show Daryl's house and he plays Red for Daryl Hall and his band at his house. And it's funny because he makes a comment, it took Crimson 3 days to rehearse this song. And then Daryl says, "All right, we didn't really rehearse this. I'm not kidding. So we'll see what happens." They start playing it. And sort of middle in the song, you see Fripp smiling at Hall because he's like having fun. You guys are nailing it. So
Yeah.
it's just these great little moments with Fripp, and especially on that performance on what's the show called, Cheech?
Fridays.
On Fridays. That's probably one of the greatest performances, and I agree with Joe, outclasses the album version.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. But I put that up with like Free Will Live.
Oh, dude, it's
You
up
know,
there.
yeah,
They
yeah,
outclass. I mean, obviously both versions I love,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
the live version, whatever they did, the video is so fun to watch too.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, Joe.
sorry, just rush reference. Cheech, it's so funny when you see Getty smiling at Alex, like when they lock in and they're having
Yeah.
so much fun. Like you
Oh
want to go
yeah.
up there and just play with them. It's like that's a great.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. And then you see Neil. with like drums. You can't even see him, but
Yeah, and
there's a
he was so serious. He just had that look in his face, like he's in the zone.
he's
You
like the
know,
Robert Fripp. So if you see him smile, it's special.
yeah, definitely. But yeah, Joe covered it. You know, he played with
Yeah.
John Lennon, George Harrison. Jazz influence. Buddy Rich was his guy, and Gene Krupa. Power, precise time. He's really good at using his crash cymbals two at once. He's able to do that. Tales of Topographic Oceans, Relayer, we talked about. And I think he was a great replacement for Bruford. You know, I really
I
think he
think so.
was.
I think so. Brought his own to the band
Yeah,
and made his sound. He kind of nestled. And yes,
yes, definitely. All right. Speaking of King Crimson, Michael Giles. Oh my God. All I gotta say is 21st century schizoid, man. That's it.
yeah,
You know
that's
what I
it.
mean? And then
No, that's it. That's it. Those fills on that song. That song is so insane.
I mean, the guy, you know, Neil Peart's favorite drummer. Neil's going to be popping up in a lot of this. Jazz influence, complex again, polyrhythms, technical precision. He invented prog drumming. That could be controversial, but I'm saying it. I think he invented prog drumming.
Well, Cheech, if I
Um,
can, why do you say that?
because no, like nobody was playing. When you hear 21st century schizoid, man, nobody played like that.
Let me add something. The only time you heard that type of drumming, correct me if I'm wrong, was in jazz or jazz fusion.
Exactly, like
So
Bitches Brew. You know what I
to
mean? You
see it
know,
in to see it in
Elvin
rock,
Jones, Gene Krupa. You know, all those Buddy Rich. So he was doing that insane stuff, and
and
those were all
obviously,
his influence.
and
You
obviously
know,
directly inspired Neil Peart on Fly By Night. When you hear
when you
that
hear Bite
harmony.
Her and the Snow Dog, you hear 21st Century Schizoid, man.
Yeah,
You know that's you
yeah.
know and the Court of the Crimson King, which is on our list of albums to review. In the Wake of the Poseidon. Giles and Fripp. You ever heard that album? 1968. Very interesting. Then he did session work with Leo Sayer. You know, isn't that insane? You make me feel like
That
dancing. I don't even want to bring that song up
that
because
is so insane. First Alan Holdsworth on playing with ex Beatles, and
yeah.
then you can't make this up. Like they're such great drummers. Of course they're gonna get hired as session players.
And he played with Roger Glover, Butterfly Ball, which is a great album. He's just, he's the inventor of prog rock drumming, in my opinion. You know, if you disagree, please let us know. If you agree, let us know. I don't think anybody, sounded like that at that time. You know,
That album, no one sounded like that.
no,
That album
nobody's
is
doing.
just it's just like a meteor just hit Earth.
Yeah,
No one has did that.
yeah. 21st century Skitsway, man. Nothing is like that.
And
1969,
Lake's Bowl,
nothing in the world.
just to give a
Even in
shout
the
out.
Canterbury scene, that wasn't happening.
No, Canterbury scene, yeah, no, nothing like that. I mean, obviously they took a lot of inspiration from
Oh
that,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I agree with you. Just 21st century schizo, man.
That's all you got to say. Michael Giles. He's on. Um. There's a great document. I seen him in an interview with Sam Dunn, the guy
Mhm.
who did. Sam Dunn is a guy you should check out. He did a lot of stuff. He did the Rush documentary, but
Yeah,
he
I
did.
know him. He had this great heavy metal documentary where he wrote
Yeah.
my favorite episodes of Norwegian death metal stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
he directed Limelight, Rush.
When he did the okay, so you know the series I'm talking about. When he does prog metal, Michael Giles was on that,
I
and
remember
they
that
interviewed him.
episode, and I was such an idiotic young man. I didn't appreciate it, but I like more of like the Judas Priest stuff and like the death metal stuff because that was more
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Ooh, like what? A metal band
yeah,
actually like burned down a church?
yeah. Oh yeah, Gorgoth was
Oh,
on
and
there.
can I mention one more thing? Remember that BBC
Yeah,
series Seven Ages of Rock?
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I don't remember some of the early episodes. The episode, my favorite was the punk episode. for
Hmm.
some odd reason, I
Let's
kept
check out.
replaying. And I remember seeing
Yeah,
Sid Vicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. See the Sex Pistols and Johnny Ryan and Sid Vicious. I did think they were cool.
they
Uh,
are.
yeah, anyway, just a little side note.
Yeah, definitely.
But they had an episode on Progressive Rock I saw later. Oh my God, it was one of the best episodes.
Oh yeah, yeah. Amazing. And they cover the whole Canterbury
Mhm.
scene on that. I
Mhm.
recommend that. Um, I'm gonna say so. I spent all right. So, so I'm gonna throw the ball to you, Manny, on this guy, little guy by the name of Phil Collins.
Who? Is he
Phil
that guy
Collins.
from the 80s? Is he that guy's the studio guy?
Oh, I think he's the guitar player in Def Leppard. Oh, that's Phil Collins.
The other Phil Collins.
Yeah, yeah.
Phil
Hold on. They have
Collins
the
did
same
not
name?
dedicate his life to prog rock. He's
What's
not
that?
on my list. I would put
Oh,
Chester Thompson on the list before Phil Collins for Genesis.
wow. I
Ooh,
mean
controversial.
That's
that,
definitely that is definitely a
that
hot take.
I have to say though, Phil Collins probably has the most memorable drum fill in the world. In the world,
Yes.
so just that alone, he gets to be,
Adding adding to Chester Thompson though. I'm gonna send you guys a video. Dude, one of the most so I don't know if this was for his solo tour with Genesis, because Chester Thompson did play for Genesis. You hear actually on Seconds Out, which I can see what Joe's talking about, because obviously Phil has to be freed up to sing. So
yeah,
obviously he's gonna need a very, very competent drummer, and Chester Thompson hit the note. But they have this legendary drum solo, and I think it was with Genesis. They start to both of them, they start to do this drum solo, and it's so insane because you could see Phil Collins' face when Chester Thompson surpasses him, and Phil
yeah,
smiles and he's like, okay, like let's do this. Like
yeah,
it's one of the it's legendary. But yeah, I'll give some evidence to Joe's point there. But Phil Collins, man, Genesis. I mean, Nursery Crime, Foxtrot, Some England by the Pound. His
yeah,
pretty much everything up until controversial, but up until Winded and Wuthering is legendary.
yeah, yeah.
Like those albums are just like must listens to in progressive rock.
And like I said, in the air tonight, though, that like
And
there's
later, he
nothing.
created one of the most iconic drum solos that
Yeah, he
everyone knows. Even
created
if you
that
don't like
sound.
rock music, everybody knows it.
Everybody can play that drum fill on the table. Da, 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 da. I mean, it's like you don't have to be a drummer. It's genius.
And
But
the only one that did it, I'm totally joking, Neil Peart, Rush's Tom Sawyer. Everybody
oh,
knows
oh
that
yeah,
drum fill.
everybody knows that
Everybody.
film.
Even if you're
Yeah,
not a rock fan, it's become iconic.
yeah, that's so true. Yeah, yeah. I can't think of other iconic drum fills that you can name off the top of your head. You have to think about it.
Hmm.
You know? Wow, it's a good point. Um, iconic drum fill, like I said, Air Tonight. Um, he's rock solid, both technical and his feel is amazing. He uses the ride cymbals a lot with complex time signatures. He's jazz influenced. He sang while playing drums, which makes him different than all the drummers we've mentioned. He actually sang lead, right, on some of the Genesis songs when he was playing the drum kit. And that makes him
Did.
very different than
No.
all these drummers.
And can I just pause on that?
Yeah.
None of the other drummers did that.
No.
Phil was already, and get this, his harmonies with Gabriel, people don't talk about this, but they're amazing. And then he was already singing. He has a solo song on Nursery Crime. He's all over backup vocals on Foxtrot. He has a solo song and on top of backup vocals on Selling England. And
Yeah.
then obviously in Lamb Lies Down, he kind of focuses more on the music.
Yeah.
Um yeah, but he's the rare progressive rock singing drummer, which
Yeah.
that's a very unique thing.
And he's not like who's the drummer in the Eagles?
Oh,
Don
Don Henley.
Henley.
Don
Don
Henley.
Henley. He's not playing like
Hey,
a
guys, have you seen The Big Lebowski
Yes.
years
movie?
years ago.
Dude, I saw it recently, and the dude's like, "Yo, oh man, the Eagles suck. Fuck the Eagles."
He was one of the few drummers that sang,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. And he
And
was.
then the drummer, and you guys may know this band, not
Oh,
Rare
wait, wait, wait,
Earth.
wait, wait. Karen Carpenter.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Forget
But
her.
I mean, but they were playing like when Karen Carpenter did a drum solo, it was ridiculous. But like she wasn't doing Phil Collins type of drumming in those songs. She was playing the straight beat. The guy in Rare Earth was playing a funky beat, and the guy in the Eagles, Don Henley, was just playing. He fitted the song perfectly. Phil
Don't forget
Collins was
about
playing.
Levon Helm.
Oh
Levon
God,
Helm of the band.
yes, that's right. Levon Helm, another great one. He had a swampy groove though. He had a different type of groove. And Gil Moore from Triumph, if anybody, not that other Canadian band, you know, who's going out on tour too now. That's I found that funny. They're following their big brothers who opened the door for that their career actually. Um, on a side note, but yeah, Foxtrot, selling England by the pound. The Lamb lays down. I mean, we talked so much about Phil Collins. So, anything you want to add, Joe, about Phil Collins?
Okay. Well, if you talk to Phil Collins, he would have been more than happy to have just had an entire career as a drummer. That
Yeah,
was what he loved to do. He sort of got pushed into the Genesis singing gig.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, he was a drummer first and foremost. That's how he views himself.
yeah.
Oh, and also, who knows? Phil Collins had a very, very big impact on Robert Plant when he volunteered his services to help Robert Plant, I think, on his second album. And
That's
then
right. He played
toured.
with Zeppelin, and he played with Plant. Yeah, yeah, and he
Yeah.
played with the Led Zeppelin reunion, which we won't go
Well, you
into.
know what? That was, yeah, that's when things fell apart.
Yeah.
But when things were going good, Phil Collins toured with Robert Plant, played the
Oh
donkey,
yeah,
you know, because who could replace Bonham? And it was nice of Phil Collins to, volunteer his services. But Phil Collins was everywhere because I remember he was producing like Eric Clapton. I
Mhm.
yeah.
think that, he produced the August album for Clapton in the mid
I
80s.
mean, what a run he had! Like from
He was everywhere. He sang. He provided drumming on the Christmas song. Do they know it's Christmas?
that's right, that's right. Yeah,
Um, he worked with also the Earth and Wind and Fire song. The guy, Easy Lover, Phil Bailey,
Philly. Yeah, yeah.
co-wrote and co-produced that song as well. Unless he had the sole writing credit, but yeah, that's this
That's a
dude was
great song.
he was
Yeah.
everywhere, man. Like talk
Yeah.
about a progressive rock drummer that pretty much, if anything, he sold more records than any progressive rock drummer, and I would
He took,
argue maybe progressive rock band.
yeah, he was. If you look at him at like Foxtrot and then think where he would be in 10 years, we always do. Like, we did this with Rush, one of the episodes we talked about. So from 1973 in 1983, 84, he dominated the world pretty much as a singer, as a solo artist, and in Genesis as a singer. Everybody knew who he was and loved him, you know.
He also did the soundtrack music for
Art,
Disney's
Tarzan.
Tarzan.
That's
And
how,
I think the songs are so good. It could have been a Phil Collins solo album.
dude. It's funny, and that's how I encountered Phil Collins because of that. And my dad, who was already a Genesis fan and Phil Collins fan, he has like Face, No Jacket Required album, the vinyl. Uh, he goes like, "That's Phil Collins," and we're like, "Who?" This is like Tarzan, but we
Yeah,
like the music. And he was like, "That's Genesis. That's Phil Collins." And he starts like teaching us who this guy is. We were like, "What?" We didn't know what he looked like or anything. But yeah, that music is so iconic for a lot of kids, especially like my generation with that movie. So yeah,
yeah.
genius.
Um, so moving on to Nick Mason.
Ooh.
Yeah, Nick Mason. I love it. Yeah, you can't forget Nick Mason.
Uh, Anybody want to talk about him, or you want me to just go over his what I the
Go
notes
go over go over first the notes, then we'll
yeah.
discuss.
Atmospheric architectural approach, prioritized mood over technique and showmanship. He is the backbone of Pink Floyd. He's very tom heavy. He's one of the few drummers to use effects on his drums, like on time, the rototoms. He's a master of dynamics and space with his drum fills. He allows the band to breathe. He serves the song. He has a jazz blues roots background. Some of his biggest hits are Time, Money, which is our favorite, me and Manny always talk about. Echoes, Comfortably Numb, Another Brick in the Wall, which is almost like a funk kind of song. You know, that funk kind of beat, you know. What is it? I'm thinking of the Dirty Women. That's like,
Wait, what? Dirty
what's the name
Women.
of that song? Oh, she's a dirty woman. What is that called?
Oh, Young Lust.
Yeah, I always
Um,
call it Dirty Woman. I don't know
oh,
why.
Young Lust of yeah, his
Yeah, yeah.
work on the wall. Oh, Young Lust. Yeah, that song.
That's
Oh yeah,
incredible.
wait, is that the song where he goes like, "Ooh, she's a dirty woman." Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
He's
always
funky
thought
on
it was.
that. He's
Oh,
funky.
it's so
He's
funky on it.
actually Pink Floyd probably could have released a disco album
They
of
could
funk.
have probably. It's amazing. But
Would you describe Cheech Nick Mason as being minimalist as a drummer?
no, no, no. Because if you listen to his fills, like on
Wait,
time,
can I share a better adjective? He's restrained. Like
yeah,
he knows he's probably he could probably like drum and you actually
yeah.
hear some of his busy drumming on Piper at the
That-
Gates of Dawn,
Oh
especially
yeah, yeah, yeah.
im,
That
improvis
era.
improvis
Yeah,
improvis
yeah,
is improvising. But
yeah,
later on, like yeah, his drumming is atmospheric, it's restrained, so he knows what to give the song. And
yeah.
you hear the drumming on like songs like Money, it's so iconic, that drum
And
set.
when you think of time, those classic
Yep.
fills,
Yep.
intro fills, and then that beat in time is unbelievable. It's so straight ahead and groove. He knew how to groove. He had like a swag to
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
groove.
You guys heard this the I'm assuming Shine On You Crazy Diamond, the both
Mhm.
parts, the
Yeah,
suite. So his drumming on that is amazing.
he's a great. He's
Beautiful. Very,
over,
very restrained.
underrated.
Hmm.
You don't talk about him much. You don't hear his name pop up in the with the greats like Bonham and Bill Bruford or whatever, or other, Bill Ward, Ian Pace, people like that. Ian Pace, I want to almost throw in here because I know we debate about Deep Purple. They're not. They had Prague element
Well,
going back
they
to the
have that same problem with Keith Moon and
exactly.
Bonham. Is I think they're more in the hard rock, blues
They
rock.
are, but Ian Pace is. I didn't put him in this list, but he is a proggy drummer. Jesus Christ, he fills and he does crazy shit, but he puts it in such a rock context that it's not prog. It's more
Well,
prog.
I think like the hard blues rock, which normally
Yeah,
hard blues rock doesn't require that. So the fact, or
right,
pop rock or whatever, but versus progressive rock, it's gonna, obviously go for more polyrhythms,
yeah,
and drumming is gonna require a lot more of the drummer rather than just
yeah,
like the 4/4, like
yeah.
or like slow
So
drumming or whatever.
Nick Mason was a master of space.
yes,
That's why I said minimalist, but it's just like he knew what to do and got the most out of it.
yeah. No, I agree. I definitely agree.
You
He's
hear
kind of
that?
like the Hemingway of music. Less is more.
Yes, yes, I agree with that because on the album, obviously Dark Side of the Moon, and I think the song is Breathe. You hear the drum fills at the beginning, like Cheech said, and then you hear his drumming, choo, 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 jen, picking away, and then you
Yeah,
just
I love
hear
that.
like, I love how he fills that space and just he knows how to master. Like I guess I like that word that it's atmospheric. He knows how to create space and sound, and literally that's Pink Floyd because they're known as space rockers.
Oh
So
yeah,
that makes sense why Nick Mason would be so. And also his drumming on Animals underrated. If you
no,
hear his drumming on Dogs, Sheep, and Pigs, so great. Like everyone on that album is every musician is great, but Mason, yeah, doesn't get enough credit.
I
yeah,
might have to put him on my concert bucket list because he does tour. I think it's called Nick Mason's Saucerful of Secrets.
I
and they played Portchester
I
sometime
heard of them. Yeah.
previous years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's out there playing Pink Floyd music,
Oh, wow.
kind of as a tribute.
That's interesting. Huh.
Well, Carl Palmer did the same thing, doing a tribute to ELP. They
Yeah.
actually had the screens up, and they, you know, would have Greg Lake and Keith Emerson, kind of like being there. In a way, it was kind of sad, but it was meant to be a celebration of
Yeah.
ELP's music.
He actually played to like an old concert or something.
Yes,
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
it might have been the concert that was filmed in Montreal.
Wow. That's hard to do, to sync it up like that. He had to memorize every bit of that concert. He must have watched that concert a million times. Um,
Yeah.
all right, so next one I'm gonna throw over. Oh no, I'm gonna say this guy first, and then I'm gonna throw this other guy over to you, Joe. Because Joe knows who this guy is, but Manny, do you know Clive Bunker?
Nah, who is that? I might know the bands he plays in.
He plays on one of your favorite band's albums,
Really?
prog rock bands.
Clive Bunker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to guess here. Not nothing to do with Jethro Tull, right?
Oh, he's the first drummer on Jethro Tull, Aqualung. Yeah, he's because he had
Uh-huh.
two different drummers.
You know what's funny though? What do you guys think about this? I know, isn't the drummer on Thick as a Brick different? Isn't it another?
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's Barrymore
now,
Barlow.
I definitely agree. Put him on the list, both of them. But it's funny because I feel like, is he a progressive rock drummer? He sounds to me more he's kind of like John Rutsey of like Rush. Uh,
Well, you got to go back, and if you go back to the early stuff, um, like uh, this, what is it? This was Stand Up Benefit.
hmm,
It's proggy. Aqualung is commercial compared to the earlier stuff like Benefit, where he's pretty much really proggy on those albums. You know.
yeah, but his work on Aqualung, I agree with you. It's I know Ian Anderson does not agree that that's a concept progressive rock album, but who are we kidding? Like it is. Like
Oh,
everything
oh,
about it, the themes, the story.
oh yeah.
Aqualung is a big story and the narrative, and then split between two sides. Like, come on. And yeah, you're right. The drumming is really great. What a unique sound that guy captures on the
Yeah,
album.
he's not over the top.
No.
He knows when to play. He was with them from 67 to 71. Heavy prog drums, raw, energetic, jazz influence, great shuffling groove, great double bass work, great mixing cymbals and toms. A very unique sound he gave Tull with his specific groove. Aqualung, Locomotive Breath, Hymn 43, Teacher, A New Day Yesterday, albums. This was Stand Up, Benefit, Aqualung, and Living in the Past. So, know, pretty, pretty good drummer. And then the next drummer, you want to take this one, Joe? Because I know you know about him a little bit. We just
Barrymore Barlow?
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, he was the primary drummer for the 70s for Tull.
Yeah.
Left the band in 1980. I think he left the band for two reasons. One was he was very close friends with John Glasscock, the bass player, who passed away, and so it kind of like soured Barlow on Jethro Tull. And also, I think he was upset that Ian Anderson had actually done like a solo album, but flipped it and said we're going to make it a Jethro Tull album. So it was like Ian Anderson gets all the credit, I guess, songwriting and whatnot. And I guess Barlow was kind of disappointed that Ian Anderson took a solo album and made it a Tull album. So he left in 1980. But yes, he's my favorite Tull drummer. And I suggest listening to Conundrum, which is on the Bursting Out live album, and
Hmm.
he has a very nice drum solo. It's funny because I listened to the song today, and the beginning guitar work by Martin Barre is kind of interesting. I'm like, where have I heard that before? And I realized I heard it in Spinal Tap. So Spinal Tap, the first movie,
Huh.
steals some of Martin Barre's guitar sound to create the music for Spinal Tap.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
There's no mistaking it.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, great drummer, and he's another one with the Robert Plant connection because he played on Robert Plant's. I think he played 2 songs on the first album,
Wow.
but he
And John,
never toured with Robert Plant. It was first it was Phil Collins, and then after that it was Richie Hayward from Little Feat
yeah,
toured
great drummer.
with Plant. Yeah,
So
so
Barlow is amazing just for his drumming on Thick as a Brick.
That's it.
I have been listening to that album, and again, think about it. No, other than us, no crazy person will listen to 2 20-minute suites and like it at least once a day. I don't know if you get, I do. And his drumming is, I'll be honest with you, he's jumped to the top.
Yeah.
His drumming, the sound he captures, the energy, it's like it's so infectious. Like the way I hear it is that it's fun. Like I love his drumming. I have a new now appreciation for him, and as well as Tall in general, because I always forget about in progressive rock bands. I don't know because of my age, I always forget Tall or did, but now they just quickly just jump to the top. And Think as a Break is now in my top 3 albums of all time. I have 1,000 albums in that top three, but it's his drumming alone on Thick as a Brick probably
It,
cements his place.
it's Geddy Lee's favorite album.
Ah, there we
I've
go.
heard him. I've heard him say that. And just for this statement, John Bonham said he's the greatest rock drummer England ever produced.
I mean,
John Bonham.
enough said. I mean,
You
I
know,
agree
I
with that.
mean,
I had
um,
read just recently that Barrymore Barlow was considered on the short list for replacing John Bonham and Led Zeppelin if they were to continue.
wow.
But back in the day when it was actually happening, I don't recall ever reading that. I
Yeah.
think they must have kept that kind of under wraps. But now it's out.
Yeah.
Of who they were thinking of having if
Well,
they were
there
to plan
there
just could.
must have been a connection between Robert Plant and John Bonham and him because for Bonham to say that, and then he played with Robert Plant, they must have knew each other in some way.
They must all be from that area of England.
Yeah.
You know, the Black Country or the Midlands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power, precision, intricate polyrhythms. Polyrhythms keep popping up with the great drummers, you
The
know?
common pattern.
Yeah. Technical brilliance, odd meter, complex arrangements, dynamic range can go from folk to high energy rock.
Mhm.
Um, the stuff he did with double bass was innovative too. Nobody was kind of doing that at the time. And this is a funny quote by him. He warned other drummers not to copy his technique because he was way over the top, he thought. That you won't get a gig. That
Except in Tall.
if you play like me, you won't get a gig, you know.
Except only the one who would hire his craziness is Anderson.
Yeah,
Because he
it's
himself
funny.
is crazy in the best way. The most affectionate way I can call him.
Yeah. And it's funny because like I know, man, you love both like and the same thing with the bass players. They had two different bass players for two different albums that you
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
great.
that's weird.
It's like night and I love both albums. Like, but he's so crazy. It's like night and day with this. Like you have Aqualung, which is I think probably peak Tall in terms of like the blues
Yeah.
rock sound and the sound they developed, and then they go just full on. And it's ironic because Thick as a Brick was meant to be a parody of progressive rock.
Yeah.
So they were pulling a Frank Zappa with the parody stuff. They came up with this album as sort of, all right, we're gonna put an end to progressive rock. And their
Yeah.
idea was like, we're gonna make fun of it. And that's what and it turns out, ironically, they created one of the greatest progressive rock albums
I know.
with two, and again, it's astounding, 2 20-minute suites. Like I think only
Insane.
I think your boy Oldfield probably matches them with Tubular Bells.
Oh yeah,
A
yeah.
whole album that's like 40 minutes of music.
Insane.
So I just read this funny story today about Barrymore Barlow and his experience with Jethro Tull. The first concert he ever did with Jethro Tull was in Denver, Colorado, and for whatever reason, it's an outdoor venue at Red Rocks, and the the audience was tear gassed inside and outside, and the band was like freaking out over it, and they're all like huddled behind the stage. And Barrymore Barlow says to Ian Anderson, "Is it always like this?"
Oh my
And
God.
Anderson said, "Well, it most likely just on Tuesdays and Thursdays." He's kind of made a joke of it, But Barrymore Barlow was like, "What the heck is going on with these American audiences and the police?" But I guess they were tear gassing the audience.
Horrible.
I guess I don't know what kind of riot. It didn't mention any kind of a riot that was going on
Wow.
in Denver. Like I remember when Zeppelin was in Italy, it was such a riotous occasion, and the police was so heavy-handed that Zeppelin never played Italy again.
Wow.
And it happened when they were like a new band.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Wow. So the next drummer, I always bring this band up, and I don't know if you ever got that album, Manny, Gentle Giant. Still waiting for your
Oh,
birthday.
never got. I went in down there. I was like, "Hey man, where's my Vandergraaf generator?" And he told me, "Nope." Okay, what do I want my Gentle Giant? I see it right there.
Yeah,
Nope, nope.
got a ribbon on it and
Instead, I
everything.
got a $5 gift card.
That's it. Unbelievable. Um, I got to bring up Gentle Giant because they're like next to the big four, they're number five for me. John Weathers, hard bashing yet this is different. His style, rooted in deep groove, known for his complex, odd time signatures, but he had an R&B soul feel in it. Complicated fills and complicated hi-hat work. Some albums to check out: Octopus, 1972. In a Glass House, 1973, Freehand. Some of the songs: Proclamation, Cogs and Cogs, and Just the Same. So check John Weathers out. He's a great, great prog drummer from Gentle Giant. They're just underrated.
I,
They were just too proggy.
yeah,
Really good.
they're out. They're like on the Prague bell curve. They're like on the fringes. But
I know.
I'm guilty. I'm gonna start listening to Gentle Giant and what's the one with the octopus cover on? It's such a great cover.
Oh, Octopus.
Oh yeah, and I listened to it. It's crazy,
It
and
is insane.
great,
Yeah.
great putting him up there
Yep.
in the progressive list.
Okay. And here's the other album you never got. Vandergraaf Generator.
Breaks my heart, man. I feel like quitting, dude.
I know.
I was like, hey,
Guy,
where's my Vandergraaf Generator album?
right?
No,
Guy,
that's how you know this is a progressive rock album podcast because we mentioned Vandergraaf Generator.
another band that people need to
Yeah.
know.
And
And Rush is big. One of the biggest influences on Rush was Vandergraaf Generator. They loved Vandergraaf Generator when they came out. I've read that in so many of the books on Rush. Um, Guy Evans, influenced by jazz, big bands, hyperactive, fast, over the top drumming, going from slow tempos to fast grooves in seconds. Master of odd meter that always, it's gonna just keep popping up. Albums: Fool's Mate, 1971, The Silent Corner and Empty Stage, 1974, Over, 1977. Songs: A Plague of the Lighthouse Keepers. That's a great song. I recommend. Killer and Manurge. Um, so I definitely, check Vandergraaf Generator out there. Just phenomenal. Um, then another band, Camel, who
another underrated
phenomenal.
one. These are the underrated ones, which I think
Yeah,
we're guilty of. We should listen to more, but they're the
yeah.
best of progressive rock as
They
well. If
they
anything,
should be they should have been bigger, but they were big. They were huge in Europe because people like could listen better over there. America, they just weren't really Americans like, couldn't take that much of this
And
prog stuff.
and that's key that in America, those bands you just mentioned didn't make it big.
No. No, not in America, but in
And
like
you know,
Germany.
and they have a big cult following. Man,
Oh,
I'm probably gonna start listening to the greatest of those start with the greatest albums of those bands, and then hopefully we can talk
yeah.
about it.
Oh, definitely.
That's what happened when we Think It's a Brick, because I knew Think It's a Brick before,
Yeah.
but I never really like listened to it. Oh
Right.
my God, that was blown away. I'm like, okay, now I see why this is the greatest album of all time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And then okay, let me see. Andy Ward, sophisticated jazz influence from the band Camel. Sophisticated jazz influence. He had a certain kind of jazz feel that blends prog rock complexity and a deep sense of melody and groove. Very jazzy, very fast, precise hands, technical precision, melodic sensibility, great at using cymbals with odd meter. Again, odd meter.
Odd meter,
Maybe the odd meter stuff just throws everybody off.
odd meter, and polyrhythms. Those are the two defining things of progressive rock, and that's why I feel like people, obviously, those that love music. It's funny, like thinking about the progressive rock fans. What makes them fans? They love the odd meter. I mean,
Yeah. Oh
it's
yeah.
it's the thing that make I feel like it's the DNA of progressive rock.
And when I play with great drummers, they do odd meter, they do polyrhythms, and I feel so natural. Just it's amazing.
Yeah, does Robbie play
Um,
odd meter in Pottersfield? You guys do a progressive rock
um,
track? You guys should compose one.
he, believe it or not, Robbie puts in some polyrhythms and things. But if Robbie has unique cymbal work. He does some really odd meter stuff on the
I
cymbals.
noticed that. Yeah,
Yeah, he does
noticed that.
some amazing stuff.
He's like the
Robbie
Ringo Starr of Bronx.
and the Lars Ulrich for a 70-year-old man. He's playing more powerful than a 20-year-old. I mean, this guy, I've
Dude,
never seen anything like
no,
it.
it's astounding. Especially when I saw you guys live. I think Joe would probably agree. Like, yeah, you guys are cranking it, and just seeing him like, yeah, he plays like better than any like most young guys with
I
power.
lock I lock with him so I don't have to think. Yeah,
I
you're going
noticed.
back to drummers and
I
and I
noticed that.
played with a lot of great drummers in my life and he we just lock. It's amazing. Um so Andy Ward, that melodic sensibility because Camel had a nice melody to them. Albums, check out this one, Manny, Mirage with
I'm
the
I'm gonna
Camel
I'm gonna do
cigarette
some
on it.
I'm gonna do some homework. Yeah, I'm gonna
1974.
demand my Van de Graaff generator. Because enough is enough, man.
I know. Fuck. Camel 1973, Snow Goose 1975. The song Lady Fantasy is amazing. Lunar Sea and Ice. So I got two left. And see if you could guess who this guy is. Phil Ehart.
When in doubt, I just say Kansas.
Always.
That's good. I'm just gonna do that next time. Kansas.
I'm going through my
Oh,
routine,
can I
but
add the
yeah.
only American
Yeah.
you added? You didn't add the Styx drummer, right?
No, because he's not progressive.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Pretty boring.
Yeah, dude, I
In a
agree.
good in a good
No,
way.
I agree with that. I feel like them more the music and melodicism is better than and Tommy
Yeah.
Shaw's guitar playing. But it's weird because Tommy
Yeah.
Shaw's guitar playing is actually more in blues rock, hard rock sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
But
You're only
yeah, Sticks.
the only Yank on the list.
Yeah, Sticks' drummers. He doesn't do a lot of shit for me
No. Even the one
personally.
when I saw them live, I don't know if it's the same guy. I mean, again,
Yeah.
quote you, I should be shot to, me being a Sticks fan, but it was all right. I was thought it was exhilarating seeing Tommy Shaw play. Like, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
he is
He's
such,
phenomenal.
but it's not, I would argue it's not progressive rock guitar playing. It's more of that blues, hard rock,
Yeah.
swagger, Jimmy Page style, which is fascinating.
But Dennis DeYoung gave him the progressive rock with the
hmm
vocals and
And
the
and the
keyboards.
concepts,
The concept, well, vocals, keyboards, and concepts. That's what made Sticks progressive rock,
Mhm.
I think. So Phil Ehart, complex odd meter. Isn't that funny? He's self-taught, which is amazing. Imagine being self-taught and just using your ears to learn all this shit.
Crazy.
Uh, he has extreme rhythmic precision. He plays without looking at the kit. Imagine that. He just doesn't look at the drums and he just
Trust,
it's
intuition.
exactly. He makes odd meter fit in a pop song. Carry on, Wayward Son. You know, no, you don't even have to say, anything else but that song. Carry on, Wayward Son. He does it all in that song. Uh, he does four against three polyrhythms in that song. He's great with double bass. He uses ghost notes and snare drags, the jazz technique, and he uses choke crashes. That's when you grab the cymbal and you hit it with your bass drum. And in Carry On Wayward Son, it's like bounce, 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 bounce. It does that kind of stuff. So he's like the master at that. Um, and I don't know what else to say about him, but Carry On Wayward Son, Point of No Return, Song for America, Portrait He Knew. He on Portrait He Knew, he does a drum solo in the middle of it. Albums. I can't stop talking about Left Overture. No, we got to definitely do
Yeah,
that
you can
album.
have, and it's funny because Kansas. I mean, I'm not saying that there was no American progressive rock, but they're actually one of the only ones, and
Yeah,
that
I
were
think
actually
they're them
true.
and Styx are the only real progressive rock in America. Some could say early Journey was progressive too, believe it or
Heard
not.
about
You go
that. Yeah,
back, yeah.
yeah.
But I can't. Yeah, there's more. They're just not famous. Point of No Return and Two for the Show. So those are everybody, and there's one guy left, one drummer left.
What? I wonder who it is.
I don't even want to.
You literally saved the best for last.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even have to break down this guy. I just
I
say
think
his
just
name,
say his name,
Neil Peart. I mean,
Neil
it really,
Peart.
you know,
We have.
uh,
I should. I'm gonna probably like when I'm gonna put episodes down there. We've covered this dude like extensively, detailed.
yeah, I know. It's
We
like,
watched our moving pictures, our 4 hour moving pictures episode.
oh
Four
my God,
hours.
4 hours. Holy shit. Um, the professor, he redefined rock drumming through a combination of technical ability and versatility. His compositional structures, his drum parts, it's not just a beat, it's almost melodic.
Mhm.
He's a master of that word again. What's that word, Manny, that I keep saying?
Polyrhythm, time signatures is the
Odd,
pattern.
odd meter. Yep, odd time
Hold
signatures.
on, hold on. I'm gonna write it up on the board. Take notes, kids.
Yeah. Um, he's a master at the ride cymbal.
Yeah.
The way he plays that ride cymbal, like on
Oh,
subdivisions. Oh my
dude,
God,
that let me tell you, that sound. I don't even know how to describe. I don't want to sound crass. It's like musical, like ecstasy, or like something about that just gets you crazy. Like, and this is like the true progressive rock nerd.
Yeah.
His drumming.
Um, and I just thought of a joke that I'm going to say after this, and Joe's probably going to get mad at me, but uh, so Matt, he's a master of the odd. We said that. I'm losing my train of thought. So I'm thinking of a joke. So I feel like Marcel right now. I don't know why. Anyway, he has orchestra bells, tubular bells, wood blocks, tempo blocks, no pun. He can play. This is crazy. He can play one different odd meter with his foot, and left hand play another odd meter while hitting the snare drum in between. Fucking insane is
And
that?
I'm just thinking, what the hell would that sound like? Like, how would you
It,
do that? Like,
like listen
and
to
I'm, no, and I'm saying,
examples, hemispheres. It's all
yes.
in there.
I
You
think,
can hear.
do I hear that in Xanadu? Because
Yep, you'd hear it in
Xanadu's
Xanadu.
probably his greatest drumming, in my opinion. Like that's and
Why?
hemispheres. Either one of those. And then obviously YYZ.
Yeah.
It's and it's funny because I'm just thinking like what that would like if I went behind the kit, I would struggle just trying to keep 4/4. So
Oh
now
God.
you're trying to polyrhythm with two different like How do you do that?
No, unbelievable. And how can we forget the most important thing about this guy? His drum fills.
Iconic,
That's what he's known for.
iconic.
Tom Sawyer, his hi-hat patterns. Um, what is God, I should be shot. Help me. Now, 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 now. Red Barchetta, those hi-hat
Red
patterns that he
Barchetta,
does.
yeah.
Yeah. And then he's known for his famous drum solo, and he changes his drum solo for every tour that he did.
Hmm.
I'm gonna just go over the albums, but whatever. Fly By Night, Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, Permanent Waves, Moving Fucking Pictures, Grace Under Pressure,
Everything, everything.
uh, Tom Sawyer. You don't even have to say anything. YYZ, Limelight, Xanadu, By Tor and the Snow Dog, Spirit of the Radio, 2112, Subdivisions.
Free Will, both versions live and the studio.
And all I'm gonna say,
Oh, dude, and dude, forget all those songs. Natural Science,
oh
like
my God.
that is din and that's a seven, time signature and that's
Oh,
just
it's the 7/8 that dun
oh,
dun dun and dun, where it goes da 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 dun
and,
dun dun,
and just like the drumming on that. Oh man,
yeah.
that's every
So
that's every Rush's fan. I feel like favorite song. Like if you
so here's my joke.
got change your camera, man.
So now I'm serious about this, okay? I just mentioned the greatest rock drummer of all time. I have like three main influences where I strive to be great. Number one is Jaco Pastorius.
Mhm.
Number two is Neil Peart that inspired me. And I always said number three is Sid Vicious, the attitude of going on stage and being like
Mm-hmm.
off then, you know what I mean? If you don't like my band, So the new Rush lineup, okay? The new drummer, Annika Niles, I'm wishing her the best. So this is I'm gonna be praying to this man for her.
Wait, is that the joke?
Yeah, I'm gonna be praying to this dude that she does a good job.
He's gonna come back alive. He's gonna be like, he's gonna like bless Anika Niles. Be like, all right, you have he's like the biggest Rush fan, like Pio. Like,
Yeah,
all right, you better not mess up.
Padre Pio's gonna be like, I give
Heard
my
it.
stigmata to you. She's
You
gonna have a stigmata at the end of the
you
show.
heard it here,
Okay,
folks. Padre Pio's a Rush fan.
he
He
is.
knew Rush in the 1930s for they were that thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. He could be predicted Rush.
Yeah,
You
he
know,
did. I heard there was like a prophecy around the formation
it's
of
in
a
it's in
band.
the Vatican. It's in the Vatican.
Yeah, it says in the Vatican archives, and apparently he did this prophecy on some sort of. He wrote it, but obviously he got in trouble because he said some trio from Canada was going to form and change music. So
Three kings are
he
gonna
saw
come.
Xanadu, and they're like, Xanadu, that poem? Like, no, it can't
Yeah,
be.
yeah. But anyway, Padre Pio, I pray for Annika. Anyway, that's my that's my that's all I got on the drummers. Anybody else you guys want to add or
Yo, anybody? Do
anything?
you want to add or
I it's a guilty pleasure, but yeah, I'm gonna go there. Stephen Drost of the Flaming Lips. He's no longer with the Flaming Lips. He was with the band for 33 years, and he was the primary drummer from 1991 to 96 live. And then when Ronald Jones left the band, he was the electric guitarist. Stephen turned his attention to keyboards and guitar, but he always played the drums on the albums. And he's really incredible. And a lot of people think that it's psychedelic rock or it's inaccessible, but there are moments of prog. And I suggest everybody listen to Race for the Prize from the album The Soft Bulletin as an example of his work. The drums are fantastic. Uh, and he admits that Bonham is an influence.
Hmm.
Cool.
But I feel so bad that he's left the band,
Yeah.
but he did it for his own health, and he was tired of touring. He didn't have that inspiration to do it after all these years, 33 years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But he's a very great drummer. His father had a polka band, And by the time I think he was 11 or 12 years old, he was playing drums for his father's polka band.
Mm.
Wow.
But he's an incredible musician. I think he needs to get a little bit of credit, a little bit of love. Steven
And,
Drozd,
and
formerly of Flaming Lips.
what's the drummer from Primus? We could throw him in the mix too.
Tim Alexander.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's another one. He's left Primus,
Mm.
and he doesn't want to tour. He's not
Yeah.
motivated, and if he's not motivated, he doesn't want to do it. And
Yeah.
I can respect that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that about wraps up, I think, the best drummers.
And I
Um,
love it how Joe kind of like takes it to like, the later ones, right? Like seeing the influences later on. And
oh
obviously,
yeah.
yeah, all these drummers are, I feel like, the best of what rock gave. Apart from the other legendary ones like Bonham and Moon, and Ginger Baker, but progressive rock always elevates it because of their boldness, their inventiveness, and what's that buzzword that kept reappearing?
Polyrhythms,
The polyrhythm,
and odd meter.
the odd meter, which
You
is
gotta
key.
have all that. Odd
Yeah.
meter is a key is to the prog rock drumming. If you don't have that, and how to seamlessly go from 4/4 to 7/8 to 13/8. I mean, like once again, Frank Zappa's drummers were all masters of that too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I don't put Zappa in this category because this is only, well, it's not only English, but Zappa is not prog rock or jazz or whatever. He's just Zappa. He said that he's his own form of music, but
Mm-hmm.
his drummers did that seamlessly. Terry Bozzio and all those other drummers I played with them. So now, you guys want to go through your top five, your top three? Top 10.
Top four.
Okay.
But it's just like, it's just like guilty pleasures time, I guess. But number four for me is Neil Peart.
Yes,
Number three is
Joe
Barrymore
added
Barlow.
Pert. Joe, I love how you added Pert.
Because you know what? And I said, well, okay, all right, let me do the list. Okay, so unfortunately, Neil is number four. Barrymore Barlow from Jethro Tull is number three. Alan White from Yes is number two. And I admit I have a soft spot for Carl Palmer of ELP.
Good.
But the top three guys, I did see them in concert. I never had the pleasure of seeing Neil in concert.
Mhm.
I don't know. Somehow that I feel that you have the connection when you're in the same room with
Oh, I
somebody.
agree. I agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Um,
I went with the top four.
it's a good picks. Really good
Yeah.
picks. Manor, you want to go?
I'll do top three because I feel like I talked way too much, and I don't want to steal the light from you guys. But I think you probably could probably guess my list. So ready, three, and this is crazy, but let me do this. Three, Phil Collins. I have a special spot. Genesis. Well, actually, let me give a quick honorable mention. Barlow,
Yeah.
Barrymore Barlow.
Yeah.
Jethro Tull. I've fallen in love with his work on everything past Thick as a Brick. Oh yeah, it's just insane. Three is Phil Collins, dude, high energy. I feel like he's like the most masculine, muscular drummer in terms of his sound.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, he's great. High energy, technical playing in both rock and progressive rock, and obviously coming up with so even I could do it, which is nuts. I don't play the drums. Number two, Neil Peart. I mean, what can I spoke like so with you, Chief, so many minutes on spend so much of the podcast on Peart. I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Number one, uh, close to my heart, and I call him the godfather of progressive drumming. If Giles was Giles, right, Mr. Giles,
Yeah. Yeah.
he
Couldn't-
was uh if he was, for example, Genesis, I'm talking about like a reference to the Bible,
Yeah.
freaking Bruford is like gospel, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Godfather, progressive rock. I love his style. It speaks to my soul. Like something
Yeah.
about him, and I've discovered him on Discipline, and I send you guys videos
Oh
No, I
yeah.
love that album. I cannot
Guy
stop.
was playing wood blocks today on that
Dude,
thing.
and I actually want to mention that to you. I don't know if I shared that video with on our chat. I'll share it. He starts playing this weird I shouldn't say weird, very
They're
cool.
African wood blocks.
Dude, how many
And
drummers can do that?
I,
Like
I know, I know.
that and I love his he always has this nice like I love his vibe. And
Yeah.
to me, when I see him in interviews, he's also very like academic, very
Yeah.
proper, fascinating guy. And his work in Yes will always be near and dear to my heart. So number one, Bruford.
Love it.
Oh, and
So
Red, like dude,
Red, I mean, come on.
just for
Just
that
for Red.
alone, just for that alone, his whole album and his great mugshot on the Red album cover, where he's
Yeah.
like serious, like, but he's not even
Which
serious.
which was taken separately. I'll give a spoiler for the
Yeah,
album because they
that is
weren't
funny.
talking. They weren't talking to Fripp because they were so pissed. They're like, "Why aren't we touring this album?" And he's going off to go join Bennett's school of philosophy.
Just to add a little tidbit, what Joe mentioned that Fripp wanted Bruford, so now Bruford probably was like, dude, like really? Like we made the
Yeah,
greatest record of all time and you choose not to tour.
yeah,
And
I
obviously
know.
they can't do it because Fripp has
You can't
rights.
replace Robert Fripp.
No, and he has
Like
rights on the music, so they can't even play
yeah,
the music without being sued or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah, I can
yeah.
see that. I can see that.
And Fripp is quitting music to go join
We'll talk
in
about that on
a
that episode. He's
philosopher's
nuts. This dude
cult.
is nuts.
He's nuts. He's still nuts. I send you his videos, him and his wife.
He is
They're out of fucking
weird.
mind.
He's out there. Yeah, Fripp
Yeah.
is very unique.
God bless his soul. I love
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
For me, I put Alan White number 5. I want to put Giles higher, but I can't. You know, only because Giles is like for me, he's great on all the Crimson stuff, but like Alan White 5, Michael Giles 4, and like like Bill Bruford 3. They did more work than Michael Giles. They went. There's more in their repertoire.
Yeah, yeah.
And Carl Palmer, like Joe, seeing Bruford,
Mm.
Alan White, Carl Palmer too, and Anika Niles. I mean Neil Peart number.
That was a Freudian slip. All right, Chiefs, get on the chair. We gotta do some therapy right now.
Yeah, Neil Peart number 1.
Number one, yeah.
Of
I was
course.
gonna say, I'm surprised you didn't put Robbie there.
Well, Robbie, Robbie is going to be above Neil. I put Robbie, next to Neil as
Neil.
far as playing with
And,
me.
and talk about Hemingway. Hemingway, this. Why, one sentence. Why Neil? Why is he your number one? Simple. One sentence.
God, God. That's all I could say. God, lyricist, God, drummer. The man is my college of music and everything, poetry, history, you know, philosophy. I learned everything from that guy. It's like I went to the college of Neil Peart.
You read all his books and they
For
touch
music
your soul.
and for his philosophies and stuff. So
You saw him live, so that's like
many I seen
going
his
back to
drum
Joe's
solos.
point, you actually saw him live. For
Yeah,
me, I never saw any of these drummers except from videos. So
yeah.
I got to, luckily, thank God for YouTube. I can see Bruford playing. And I wish I was there, but yeah.
And the greatest feeling is like when they're doing like well they changed it up, but for a while, in the middle of YYZ, you just couldn't wait. And most people go to the bathroom or go to the concession stand. More people were so psyched to see his drum solo right in that
No,
middle break.
people
He
that
starts.
do that, come on, you're not a true. Like, I'm kidding, but
No.
I get it. Like, they're playing like a 3 hour show. I get
Or Eddie Van Halen was getting pissed when they would play new material. People were going to the bathroom, and and it's like, wow, you could actually see
Dude,
those people.
dude, imagine I've seen that, and you guys know there's live shows when there's some sort of slow song or something, and you just see the massive amounts of people just leave.
Yeah, I know.
Imagine seeing them like, oh, come on, guys.
I mean, that would be like when I'd be playing in cover bands and we got people dancing and all the girls are dancing and stuff, and we're like rocking out like Casey and the Sunshine Band, and and playing, Black Crowes, funky kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden you go into like some really Simon and Garfunkel song. After that, like, dude,
And I
what are you
love Simon and
doing?
Garfunkel. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Gotta keep the girls on this dancing, man. You gotta keep it. So I don't know. But yeah, so that was my list. Great show, guys. And this wraps up all the instrumentalists in the prog rock series. The prog rock series is not over because we have a lot of albums to cover.
Mhm.
We've been all over the map with things. I wrote Red. I wrote Court of the Crimson King, and I wrote ELP's first album. So I want to, definitely dive into those albums. And I think we hit our 100th episode already. They're just not. It's not out yet.
In
I
terms
would
of
say
back
so,
catalog, yes.
right? I
Most
would.
likely, I think if I would have, if I had another person I'm working overtime, yeah, we made it.
But I think all the ones we've been hitting it hard over the past month to
Mhm.
reach 100, so and we
So
had
who
some,
Cheech and
you know.
Manny artist of the month of March? Is it Jocko?
It might be it might be Jesus. Hey, Manny, I don't know.
Maybe it should be Annika Nilles.
Geez, you would love
Uh,
that.
who would be the of the
Jocko might be an interesting candidate.
I say Bill Bruford is the artist of the from March.
You
Oh,
think he's underappreciated? That he's
Oh.
not a known quantity?
You're going
no,
by
it has
that.
to be
That's right.
someone that kept being mentioned.
Oh, then it can't be Jesus. Okay. uh, I can't. I don't know. Who do we talk about
Annika
this month?
Nilles, a lot.
Joe, and she's like, I don't know.
Well, we did a show. We did a show on her. We talked about her. Um, yeah, she could be the artist of the month. I'll give her that.
The official.
Yeah, I'll give her that because I want Rush. I want Getty and Alex to be happy.
And we do have an episode on her too, so I
We
think
did.
that's appropriate.
Yeah. So she is. She's the artist of the month.
We have. Does Joe know about the unreleased episode that you had?
No, no, I didn't
Okay,
tell.
I'll
I think we're gonna just forget about that episode.
there's a
Was I
lot.
the team member of the month or something?
Yeah. Did I even wait? Yeah, they still do that, right, Manny? They still do that. Team member of the month.
Oh yeah, but like knowing like it's just like so.
It's like the Rock and Roll Hall of
Yeah,
Fame.
I will say March. I think we'll wait on Anika. I think it should be Jocko Pistorius. I think it's
Yeah.
Jocko because you went on. Kate Bush was February's. Then you included out of nowhere Jocko, and we had this like really um great discussion and you bring up the how Jocko is game changer for the bass
Oh yeah, yeah,
and for you. I don't know if you guys agree, but Jocko Pistorius.
yeah.
Okay, let's go Jocko.
Go
And
March
then
and Jocko.
and Annika will
You know,
be April.
I feel like Annika will come her time when she comes out officially.
Yeah,
Start
yeah.
listening to it and maybe we can discuss as a trio.
We're
Then
gonna we could do a whole show on like a review of a Rush, video or something with her.
yeah. Yeah, because I'm sure. I mean, hopefully I get to see Rush. I'm gonna buy the tickets, but if not, I'm sure it's gonna be on YouTube. We're gonna watch it.
I mean, for you just to see Getty and Alex,
It, it
that's amazing.
it'll be like
You know?
that, like Joe seeing Palmer and you seeing like per.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they're still doing it. I mean, yeah, they probably will end up. They're so psyched. They'll probably end up doing an album. I know they'll do a live album. And they'll probably go in the studio
They
because
teased it that they have some sort of material that they were
yeah.
teasing.
Well, they've been writing for years now, so they probably have an whole album written. So it'd be interesting. I mean, still hard for me to grab around it completely because I love Rush, so much. It's almost hard to be like, wow, is it going to be Rush without Neil? But it is what it is, and I'm like I said, I'm not like 100% against it, but I'm just happy for my boys. I'm happy. I'm happy they're happy, and that's
Well,
all.
my suggestion to Annika Nilles is when the tour starts, turn off all social media. Do not listen to those voices and just listen to Alex and Glee and maybe your manager for, because I'm sure that after every concert they have a little band meeting about,
Yeah.
what went right, what went wrong, what could be done better. you
Yeah.
know she should only be focused on what those two guys
Yeah.
say because
Mhm.
it's their vision. And unfortunately, Cheech, that means it's not your vision.
No.
So you're gonna have to be shut off
Yeah.
by Annika during the tour, because we don't want to put any negative thoughts. There's going to be lots of people that
No,
love what she does. There's going to be people,
that,
people that are just going to
that's
just dismiss her as saying, "Well, she was okay, but she wasn't Neil.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be.
That's
She
the
could
great
be
your
Neil."
Cheech. Get off those reels, man. Don't.
You know?
She got this dude on her side, so she's
He's a
gonna
Rush
do this.
fan. I know he's a Rush fan.
Total Rush fan.
I mean, I,
No.
I saw the Who that first tour when after Keith Moon passed away, and Kenny Jones had he was good. He was a very competent drummer, but he wasn't Keith Moon. But the alternative was no Who concert. What would you rather have? The Who with Kenny Jones
Mm,
or no Who at all because they can't
yeah,
replace Keith.
yeah.
Of course, Zeppelin went that route. So
It's hard because for me it's difficult because Rush is like my favorite all time band, and Neil's like my favorite musician in the world. I just got to get used to it. You know what I mean? For me, you know. But I'm sure it's gonna be great. So
I'm gonna have
yeah.
to check the resale market and see if there's any tickets,
Hmm.
what they're gonna
I,
be
I
going
always keep
for.
checking. Yeah. So right now they're in the $300 range, which honestly is not bad. So I'm hopefully waiting for one to go down to 200. I'll probably hit buy. Uh,
Yeah.
All right.
anyway, yeah, guys, this is really great. This concludes the all the instruments, so it's a major
Yeah.
accomplishment.
It really is. We covered a lot. Thank you, Joe, for doing this
So
because you
thank you,
bring so
Joe.
much to the table and like it's amazing.
It was fun.
Yeah. And I think I'm definitely in the future gonna write an episode for Stormcock.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So we'll do Stormcock, and then we should do maybe. So Jaco Pastorius is our Manny Cheech's show artist of the month, and if anything, maybe a future episode on him. Like
oh yeah, and
listen
Jocko.
to some of his music and his work on Hejira, and
Yeah.
have like a nice discussion on that.
And like from Stormcock, I want to lead into the first post Zeppelin albums.
Yeah, which is still that's still yeah. So
The Firm and
more
stuff like that.
more Zeppelin stuff with Mr. Joe Silkman.
Oh, and then Joe, we want to have you on for the best debut album.
Yeah,
That's something that we've been
yeah.
talking about by
Let's
the
discuss
metal table.
that.
Okay.
That'll be the next one to think about, Joe. The best debut
That's
album.
the
Like
best debut.
could be five, it could be 10. It's gonna be it's a tough one. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think you have a good idea, Cheech, of segueing into the post Zeppelin solo albums, but you can't forget whatever happened to Jugular, which
Yeah,
Oh
was,
yeah, yeah.
Jimmy Page and Roy Harper,
which
and they were promoting the album at the same time that Jimmy was starting rehearsals with Paul Rogers and Chris Slade and Tony
Yeah,
Franklin
yeah,
to do the Firm.
yeah,
And Jimmy really didn't want to talk about, what he was doing. He wanted to help promote, whatever happened to Jugular,
yeah.
which is a very good album.
so
No, I heard some of it. Yeah,
I
yeah,
think we should do like Stormcock, and then like afterwards, and then afterwards go into post Zeppelin because that's a perfect segue.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Stormclock. We could talk a little bit about the Jugular album, and then I love the Firm's first album.
Hmm.
It's just
Now, I
genius.
got a lot of homework to do, so I'll probably listen to Robert Plant's first solo album. That one. I'll analyze Jugular and Stormcock. I like Stormcock, but I have to really like
What'd you
now.
say? You like what? Manny, Manny.
I just got canceled. No, not that Stormcock. Jeez.
Cheech, you should be shot.
She's just already dead at this point. Like, dude,
I'm
yeah,
I'm a zombie because I'm still alive. How do I
at
not
this
die?
point, man, what's keeping you alive, man?
I don't know. Mr. Black, he controls me.
It's so funny. I'm the last one on the planet that's watching Stranger Things.
Oh,
Oh wow.
I haven't even. It's funny. I gotta get into that show. Like
Well, I'm in season 2, episode 9, and I understand that the first Kate Bush song is in
Wow.
season 4,
yes.
and then Wuthering Heights is the last series
Hold on.
That's so cool.
last
Wait,
year.
hold on. I didn't even know Wuthering Heights was in that.
I'm pretty sure. Running Up That Hill is
That
in
one I knew, an
one.
iconic scene. And it
I
actually
haven't seen yet, so don't spoil it.
no. It's just that it's
Yeah,
crazy. Just a fun pop culture fact. Um, because of that song shot up to no, top of the charts. The
yeah,
the young people spoke. They loved it, which is fascinating. For me, that's so
yeah.
cool.
Well, I
Well,
think that
Winona
show.
Ryder is a huge fan. So Winona Ryder started wearing T-shirts that were Kate Bush T-shirts, and she talked the producers of Stranger Things to include the music of Kate Bush in some of the
Oh
episodes.
wow.
And if
God
you've
bless
watched
Winona
Stranger
Ryder.
Things, the one song they keep coming back to, believe it or not, is the Clash's "Should I Stay or Should I Go Now."
Wow.
Yeah, that's in several episodes. That one song because it's important to the two brothers that are in
Yeah.
the scene. Yeah,
It's cool how they incorporate the music like that, especially the
Yeah.
classic. Well, it takes place in the 80s, right?
Hmm.
I only
yeah.
watched the first season.
Starts in '83, goes on to '84. Yeah, yeah.
That's cool.
I'm probably the last one on the planet to watch the series. Just like before that, I was the last one to watch The Sopranos.
Yeah, I'm following your tail there because I definitely have not even. I'm probably the only person on the planet who has not. I only reached up to season two and a
And
half.
The Sopranos.
No, I still have to watch that. So that's one.
Oh, Manny, that
I'm
is.
gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
It's dedication.
I, I
It's like
have
a
spring
Breaking
break.
Bad dedication. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
yes, yes. It's funny. Ironically, I just binge watched a whole 3 seasons of Twin Peaks. So
Oh wow, yeah, that's
I'm gonna do Sopranos next. But I'm a Twin Peaks obsessed. So
yeah. I watched it when it was on TV. I watched it
oh,
back in the
dude,
day.
I can talk so much about that show.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
cool.
guys, this was amazing, Joe, Mr. Joe Silkman. Thank you so much for joining the show. As always, always great to have your insights. As Cheech said, Cheech, thank you, man, for your writing and Mr.
Oh,
Black's
thank you,
contributions.
thank you.
This is really fun, guys. I always love doing these episodes.
Yeah, thank you,
Thanks for
man. It's
having
great. And Joe, the next one,
Mhm.
bet top 10 debut album. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
I
that's
love
gonna be a
that.
good one.
I guess for Joe to think about that, review of Stormcock, a little insight into that, and then post Zeppelin. What
Yeah,
that might be a two-parter because there's probably a lot
yeah.
on there.
Those are future Silky Joe episodes that we got. That'd be great. I love
yeah.
and I love like when Joe writes in a text like I got some controversial stuff or I'm curious now I'm curious what Joe's top 10 albums will be. I love it.
Yeah. Well, it's not controversial.
No,
I just want to, Annika Nilles to feel the love and that there's a lot of people that support her
hmm,
on this because Glee and Alex wouldn't have chosen her if she wasn't going to do justice to the music. It's all about the music.
that's a
That's a
great
good point.
point.
It-
That's a great point. Yeah.
yeah. So,
And
Yeah.
obviously, just
that,
a quick 5 second story. I remember in the documentary they were auditioning drummers, and Glee is so funny how you describe Neil when they first met him. They're like, yeah, he was kind of like this weird guy. We kind of like really didn't want him, but then he played drums. They're like, yeah, okay, you're in.
Yeah.
I feel like with Joe's point. I feel like that was the same experience with Anika.
We'll see.
You're not convinced, but Joe, we gotta convince Cheech here, man.
Annika Nilles just unsubscribed from the Cheech and Manny music
I
podcast.
know, I never, no, she.
No, I'm not hating on her. I'm just saying it just
We know.
Positive energy.
By the
Positive.
way, Joe, Jack White hates us. So
no that no you guys like Jack White. You're fans. I'm not really a fan. I don't want to hate anybody, so I'm not gonna hate. I'm gonna
and more controversial, your hate for Nirvana. I'm kidding. I'm just teasing you.
uh, But
I remember Devontae was like, Nirvana, how can you hate Nirvana? Like, you, yeah, anyway.
but anyway, great show, guys. And see you next time. Nanu, nanu.
Nanu, nanu.
Awesome.
Thank you and
Thank
have a
you.
great night.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks so much.
You too, Joe. And Cheech, I'll catch you in the next one.
Definitely.